Listen, I'm gonna apologize up front because see, when we move sipping on Sundays on a Monday, we ain't got nothing to sip on. But guess what? We here. We had to fix you. We had to fix it. You all are here. We're here. It is sipping on Sundays on a Monday. Zoe Phillips, Mr. Campbell, man, listen, 2 weeks off, getting ready to get down. Man, we got a really, really big show. I'm super excited. We got a lot of guests that's going to come on tonight. All these big things are coming on. And shout out for everybody being patient. You know what? Please hit the like button and everything, man, because like I said, man, we got a really, really big show. Rocky's going to join us, man. Got Perry. Hopefully Perry will be able to join us. Got my man Blue. Mike Reed might come through. We got a lot of people, man, but you know, we got a lot of hot topics, but you know what though, man? Let's start off. And so I'm gonna tell you this right now, and this is totally on me. I was running my mouth about making sure everybody send you some money. I ain't even did it yet, and I didn't realize it until I was like, you know what? I told myself I need to go and screenshot that sheet. So I'm gonna get your money. I got you covered. I got you. Man,
you can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect.
Okay, man, you good. Look, so we can go ahead and start out, man. Look, y'all know, look, ring heavy now. Look, man, I just told Steve right before we came on the air. I actually shot a little video. I was conscious about it. So while I was actually out on my last day on my honeymoon, I was actually out in the ocean swimming and man, just giving God some praise that morning before we actually got ready to head back. I shot a little video, man, and thanking everybody. I gave a little word, but thanking everybody who actually gave us and blessed us anything, man, because you didn't have to do it, obviously. And just wanted to show my appreciation and gratitude for any and all of you, man, just showing me or blessing me in any way possible, man. I really do appreciate it. I take this part of my life very seriously. I take me and my development and my maturation as a man and husband at this point in my life very seriously as well. So I just want to, again, send kudos and thanks to each and every one of you, man, who were kind enough to bless me and my wife in any shape, form, or fashion. I'm going to thank every one of you as a collective now, but I'm going to also thank each and every one of you all individually as well. So I just want to say appreciate all of you. It didn't go unnoticed, and it was greatly appreciated.
Well, Zoe, let me tell you something, man. Shout out to Rocky in the building, sipping on Sundays on a Monday, Off Script Network, simulcast.
Hey, can I follow Zoe up a minute? Because I want to congratulate him. And notice we got a trend going on here, man. I don't know if I mentioned it last time. I know I said it at one point, but Scotty got it done a couple years ago, and then then Coach Cole got it done in June, and then coming right back behind him in August, Zoe got it done.
And look, I want to say shout out to Scotty too, man, because let me tell y'all don't even know, man. As soon as I touched down in New Orleans, man, I chopped it up with Scotty a real good little bit as soon as I touched down in the city. So I gotta give a shout out to Scotty as well, bro.
Hey, Steve, I just want you to know that bug is contagious. Obviously, it's running rampant through the Off Script and the Rocky Miller channel, and so if I wouldn't be surprised if before this time next year. If not bells are ringing for you as well, man. So Steve, if you get the bug, don't hesitate, man. Go ahead and do what you know is right, my brother.
Look, somebody said it before I can say it. Look at the last comment. Dick 36.
You're muted.
You're muted, Steve.
You're either muted or speechless.
No. I'm a man of many talents.
Look.
And one of those talents is not marriage. So one of those things is, see, let me tell you something. Rocky, you've been married to your lovely wife. Scotty's young, Zoe. But let me tell you something about women our age, Rocky. They settle, they comfortable. They got their own house, got their own Lexus. Yeah. And you know what? Let me tell you about how they do. And you see, I'm about to pull up a video on that. You know how they do, Rocky? They love you for a little bit, and then they want to send you home. That's what it is. So that's how my life is, right? See, anybody that love me, they like their space.
All of us were single at once, Steve. At one point, we were all single, and we all enjoyed that temporary love for a while.
How long you been married, Rocky? How long you been married?
I've been married 17 years.
Okay, so that's what I'm telling you. Once they hit the ARP age, they settle.
Oh,
they
man.
Want to do brunches. They want to hang out the girl. But now listen, they want to see you now. They want to hang out. So listen, as they say, the song say, weekend girl, have some fun on the weekdays. Hey man, I'm a weekend guy.
But Stevie, you know, I again, you don't have to stay in your age bracket. You know what I mean?
Okay, let me tell you the story. So when I was in my 40s, oh listen, hey, class or whatever that was, after 2 years after graduating from college, I was there. But the older you get, let me tell y'all something. Hookahs are expensive. Young girls take shots. See, grown women drink wine. They don't drink no hookahs. They ain't trying to be out 2 in the morning. See, you know, little friend of mine came in town, little thick something came in town, birthday. She was done at 12 midnight, Rocky. I was like, yeah, you want to go somewhere else? She was like, no. We can go back to the hotel.
So Steve, let me tell you the trick. See, the thing is, you talk about that good insurance meal, right? The trick is, it's not when you get it, it's when you sign up. So if you ain't signed up for that good insurance meal, you're good. You just getting the mail. You ain't signed up for it yet. So you in the club.
Listen, I'm telling you, when you date these HBCU women that got them Lexus, them Mercedes, and got that house that's already paid off, they good. And I'm good too. That's why I don't go to no strip club. I ain't got to go to no strip club. I'm good. So it ain't no doubt.
I just and congratulating you, Zoe. I wanted to just point out that fact, that we've got 3 guys that started when this channel started. They were single and now that they're married, and so I just wanted to point that out. Congratulations to you and your wife, Zoe. I hope to meet her someday.
Hey, appreciate it.
Hey man. I'm gonna say this. We got a big show, man. Listen, you already see the background, man. Of course, we gonna talk Jackson State and Ashley Robinson. We gonna talk Texas Southern. But man, you know what, Zoe? I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to start off with something a little bit different, a little bit positive. So
go ahead.
Y'all bear with me, man, because I saw something that I found very interesting. So they had the SEC, right? Mm-hmm. And they talked about what the SEC grads make. And I was like, okay, I'm just kind of looking at it and stuff like that. But you remember the Forbes list just came out, right? The top 5 HBCUs. Mm-hmm. I'm going to show you something. And Zoe, and I'm going to just tell you, and this is why I tell people all the time, why you should always go to a HBCU. So this is the SEC, the big bad SEC, Zoe. And so basically what I'm going to show you is like when you graduate, how much money you going to make, okay? And everything like that. So this is the SEC. And I thought this was pretty interesting. So they rank it from bottom to the top. So right off the rip, number 16, are you shot? Mississippi State. So if you graduate from Mississippi State, $56,000. You're starting off. Guess what? And hold on, let me see. The Ole Miss. Graduate Ole Miss, $56,000. Kentucky, $60,000. Tennessee, $61,000. South Carolina, $62,000. Alabama, $62,000. LSU, $63,000. Arkansas, $64,000. And this is where I'm gonna stop because Oklahoma, what is that? They're at 8, $65,000. Missouri, $65,000. Georgia, $66,000. Auburn, $68,000. So I'm gonna stop right there. That's number 5. But let me show y'all something. And this is what, and shout out to A&T, shout out to Prairie View. Because you know what, Zone? Now we went 13 schools deep, right? 13 schools deep. But you know what, though? And this is the Forbes list. And I'm going to go to the public schools first, because I think that matters. So when you look at the public schools, North Carolina A&T, that's $68,000. That is more than every SEC school but 5. FAMU, I'm going to come back to FAMU in a second. Prairie View, when you graduate from Prairie View, you make $72,000 on average. So, I always hear people talking about our schools and how good our schools are and everything. This right here, look, let me go down to Morgan. Morgan, $65,000. Now, FAMU, which I'm kind of disappointed, we only come in at 60, but that mid-career is at 99. But Zoe, you know what I found interesting when I see this? That right there talks about the greatness of the HBCU education. Now let's go to the private schools, though, just real quick.
I seen Tougaloo on there.
Oh, Tougaloo. So Morehouse, the Howard, 70,000. Spelman, 68,000. Now Morehouse was interesting, 71,000. I thought that meant a little bit more for the Morehouse men. Xavier, 56.
A lot of preachers in there, man.
Yeah, a lot of preachers in there. Hampton, 66,000. Tuskegee, 70,000. Fisk at 57,000. Talladega, that's teacher school, not going. Clark Atlanta, 58,000, and Tougaloo, 45,000. But Zoe, if you look at and you put the top schools, he said, what about? Yeah, okay, no problem. Yeah, we show them the Virgin Islands. I got the Virgin Islands. We don't want to disrespect them. Virgin Islands down here. Where is that? Oh, Delaware State's at 57. Where's the Virgin Islands at? That's Boeing, Tennessee State. There we go. Virgin Islands. Hey, man. Hey, I'll stay in the Virgin Islands for $56,000.
That's beautiful.
Because you know it's beautiful down there.
Beautiful way of life.
Better get you a generator.
State, 60. Bowie State, 61.
Better get you a generator. Power be going out.
Winston-Salem, 59. Oh, yeah, you got to have a generator. Delaware State, 57. But I showed this, man, because, man, you know what's crazy? Again, people always want to talk about our education and how great the SEC is and stuff like that. But, bro, and then when I looked at it, and FAMU, other than 4 schools in the SEC, is ranked higher than them in the U.S. News and World Reports. So I just want to start this off pie. You know, we get on social media and we talk about this school and talk about that school and stuff like that. But we honestly should be proud of all our schools, though.
For sure. Can I get some clarification, Steve? Because again, first off, it's not surprising to me. Just by fact is, when I was growing up, the people that lived the best in my community, the black people that lived the best in my community, were all HBCU graduates. The people, you know, you've met some of my friends, Steve.
Yep.
The guys that got that money, they all graduated from Prairie View and other HBCUs. You know, I'm just going to go straight up. So none of this is surprising to me. What's surprising to me is that, when you talk about Alabama, are we talking about black graduates or all graduates?
No, the total graduates. No, they're total graduates.
So that's what's surprising to me, is that you are better off graduating from Prairie View than Alabama.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the thing about that is water's wet. I don't see how that's even, surprising to people. Here's the other fun fact too, Rocky. When you have people who want to give you this perceived perception that, for an example, if you go to Ole Miss, it's the flagship school of Mississippi. And here's the thing, can I find successful black people that went there? Yes, I can. But if you look at them as opposed to the rest of their, I'm gonna say this, the rest of their black counterparts, you are so much better going to Jack State or Alcorn. Make no mistake about it. I can say the same thing about USM. Yes, you're gonna have success stories at every institution. You should. But the thing is that when you have a success story there, they tend to want to prop up or highlight the minimal success stories that they have there, as opposed to the multitudes that you'll have at a Jackson State, that you'll have at an Alcorn. I can go right off the top of my head, man. When I think about television, right? When you think about, I can go to Miss Jackie at Alcorn, right? Who's on the show, who's doing very well in her life. But guess what? I can find another Alcorn alum that was on television. I can find plenty of Jack State alums that's doing the thing, right? From whether it was Dan, my classmate that's acting, to my guy that's in Spider-Man right now with the supporting actor role, right? We have several of those. I can see plenty of Alabama State grads on television. So the thing is, we do what we do in the multitudes, but like all black things, we want to what? Come on now, y'all know what I say. Black people devalue black things. We don't prop up our own like we should, but we'll see some at another place in another way. And it's like we want to prop up you got one or two of those that you see, but we want to prop it up because it's, it's over here, this perception, right? But we doing our thing at our HBCUs. We always have.
I understand why people say we don't value our things, right? But I think in a way we do value them, but we always sometimes find ourselves living in a world where the validation that other people seek. You know what I mean? Like for instance, I often see when a guy comes from, say, let's say South Carolina State, and we say that guy came from South Carolina State. He was a good cornerback, this, that, and the other, makes a tackle. But every time, where it be Patrick Willis, they gonna mention the former Ole Miss linebacker makes another. You understand what I'm saying? They're gonna make that core. So when they do have something great, they intentional about making the connection each and every time. And I think when they're even things outside of sports, when a guy, my wife and other people have told me who great, like it was never mentioned to me. My wife went to school with Ruben Studdard, so I know she went to Alabama A&M. Well, that was in the whole time that show was going on. I don't remember them making that a prominent part of his story, that he was in the choir at Alabama A&M, though he won, American Idol. You know what I mean? If he had went to the University of Alabama, they wouldn't have made that a prominent aspect of his story. And so a lot of times the people who tell the stories don't tell the stories letting the people know the connection to the HBCUs, because you guys have told me about so many players that ultimately were Hall of Famers that came from HBCUs. When you guys talk about Deacon Jones, I didn't know Deacon Jones went to Tennessee State. I didn't know that.
No, the Valley.
He transferred. So what? He came
from South Carolina State to Valley,
and then went to Valley, right?
So what I'm saying is, how many times has that been mentioned in Deacon Jones' story? And is he one of the greatest defensive ends of all time? I don't think it's mentioned because people like us don't get a chance to tell the stories as often as we should, in my opinion. So that's why I want to just
I just wanted to bring that up, man, because I think EA said it best, man. We got to do a better job. You know what I'm saying? Because when I saw that, I was like, because here's the thing. We're intertwined with the SEC no matter what, right? For a whole bunch of reasons. Politically, socially, athletic, all the things. Because bottom line, the SEC is built off the back of the SWAC. It's built off the back of the SWAC.
Definitely footprint and culture, I think is.
So when you sit back and you look at that and you start matching up 1-to-1 and looking at the outstanding education that you get, man, I'm just like, man, I said, let me just start this, man. Because, because I laugh, oh, man, I graduated from Alabama. I remember when I worked at IBM, and I think I told the story one time. And I was a manager, I was like the youngest manager in the Southeast. And white guy was like, hey, man, where'd you go? I said, I went to Florida A&M. He said, where's that at? So,
Oh, yeah, you told me.
Yeah, you do the thing with the white people. You know what Florida State is at. You get your corporate voice on. You know what Florida State is. Oh, yeah. So the white boy turned to me and he said, is FAMU a good school? I said, you working for me, aren't you? It must be pretty good enough for me to be your manager. He ain't never say nothing else after that. So that's the trump card that you have to do. Well, man, listen, just want to put that out there, man. Just start to show off on the pod, because we got a lot of good stuff. But Zoe and Rocky, I saw this, and we're going to start off with some fools. And I like when people post things that don't make any sense, but you look at it, it might make a little sense. So Zoe, this guy and Rocky, he said, y'all need to have your own week. UFCS HBCU, Scott Pennyman said right here, and I thought this, let me make this a little bit bigger so everybody can see that. And I'm going to show you what Scott's background is. He said, I feel HBCU football missed a huge opportunity for exposure. They should open their season before week 0 of the college football season. All games against each other. You have the national stage to yourself. Nobody else is playing. HBCU versus HBCU on many different networks. Folks are so thirsty for football in mid-August. Many folks who never watched those schools will turn in. HBCUs have to think outside the box. So I said, okay, let me look at Scott, because I see stuff like this. Oh my God! But hold on, and like I say, nothing against Scott, but Scott is a sports journalist. Said TV personality for CBS, NBC, and Fox affiliates. Now I don't know what he's on, but I'm just showing what he said, and he got 16,000 followers. But I just got a question. Does he realize we just can't schedule games when we want to? And that the NCAA might have a little bit something to say? So let's start with his original premise. What do you think about his idea of HBCU week -1-20? What you think about that?
Well, when you pulled the thing up, I also saw that he attended Cleveland State University, right? So let me say this. So what reeks off in his comment is maybe he has some interest himself in HBCUs. Maybe he could be some newfound interest in HBCUs, right? But what I gather, and you guys could chime in just a second, but to me, what I gather is, again, the same old thought that you guys are lesser than, and you need to try to get any avenue you can to get more exposure, because right now you're not getting it. And I would just say, for an example, that's just not the case. But let me just say this first and foremost. We have to make any decision to move under the bylaws of the NCAA. We just can't go rogue and say, hey, we're going to all schedule conference games or SWIAC games in week -0 before everybody else. There is a guidelines for when every team reports on campus. There's a guideline to a set number of practices. And then you just now can play in week 0, because at a certain time, there was only limited to certain schools, right? Because you could have 12 games when forgot what it was of how the schedule landed, the months from August to December landed, and only a few schools could actually play in week 0. And this is a newfound thing, probably within the last, I would say, probably 15 years, I want to say. Right? So we just can't up and just say, hey, we want to get more exposure and get on TV. That means, guess what? We do have a TV contract as well. We can't just make, hey, ESPN, we want to play the week before week 0. Let's go ahead and get a game and sign a contract and give us some money and give us some exposure. It don't work like that, bro. And you're in TV. You should know this. So, again, I get the enthusiasm. My thing is, I can applaud the thought for wanting more for HBCU. So I can appreciate that energy. But that right there is just like, that's not the way to do it. Now, granted, can we do other things to possibly get some more exposure? Sure. But Steve, when we play the SWAC championship game, 9 out of 10, there's only like 2 games on that day. You have the Army-Navy game and one other game. So guess what? There aren't a lot of games on TV then. Is half of the country watching the SWAC championship game? I don't think so. So what makes the difference between toward the end of the season and beginning of the season? So my thing is, yeah, I understand that people are itching for football, right? I get it. But we have to do things in the confines of the layout of the TV contracts that we got set up, and within the confines of the mandated NCAA start of the season toward the end of the season. Now, outside of that, are there probably other things that we could do? I don't have the answer to that, and I'm all ears. I'm all for change. Whatever we could do to uplift our product, grow our product, and grow our brand and our breed of ball, I'm all for it. I don't have all the answers. And Rocky, you might have a great idea. Steve, hell, you might have a great idea. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But when I saw that, I'm like, I can appreciate the energy, but at the same time, it just goes to show to me that it's someone who, outside looking in, new to the space, and you know what I'm saying, think that we're lesser than. But hey, I can appreciate the enthusiasm, saying, hey, I want better for you guys. You need to do something different so more people can get eyes on you.
Rocky, what you got on that?
Well, the only thing I'll say about it, I'm with Zoe. I don't think we need to turn HBCU football into the circus in order to get some attention. And as far as, I don't think there's any more exposure. I think HBCU versus HBCUs, I think those matchups has been explored. They have great fan bases. They have great support, right? The kind of matchups I would like to see is maybe Missouri Valley versus the SWAC Challenge, or Lone Star. I don't know what's the one, Southland versus the SWAC Challenge, or something like that. I think those are games that give the SWAC an opportunity to play for what I think is that the one thing that the SWAC needs as a football fan is respect in FCS football. And I would love for annually for the SWAC to have an opportunity to play for respect each and every year. Whether they are forced to schedule those games or whether it's by voluntary, I would love for them to play for respect because I think that's the next frontier of HBCU football, in my opinion.
Nah, I just, one of the things when I saw that, man, I was just like, bro, sometimes people just got to sit this stuff out, man. That's my whole thing. Just some people just got to sit. And I know you thought you was doing something. I bet you when he typed that, he thought he was doing something, boy. Boy, this gonna hit right here. And then all I was like, bro, this ain't on us. And Rocky, I'm gonna tell you this. That idea, what you like that you said, I love that. I love that. I think now you talking about a week 0 because the SWAC, because MEAC already kind of played. But if the SWAC, and if I was a SWAC, because I am the SWAC, I would do each conference, right? It wouldn't be year after year after South. You know what I'm saying? I do one conference, I do Missouri Valley, and I'll just keep rolling all the way through. But what I would also do, I wouldn't do every school.
That's a good idea.
Top 3 schools. Top 3
schools.
Whoa.
Actually, see, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, cut you off. Like I said, I'll have that. Damn, Steve, that's a damn good idea. Every year, rotate a conference in every school in the conference. I like that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do. But see, I wouldn't see. This is me. See, I'm all about making how it's gonna look, right? I'm taking my big dogs. So I would make it simple, right? I take my 2 best preseason. Well, I guess they'd have to figure it out, maybe who ended it. But anyway, I'll use my idea. The 2 best from the West, 2 best from the East. So I got 4, right?
Well, here's the thing, though. I would vote against that. I would say do the whole entire conference. Let me tell you why. It's a beautiful. I love it because, to Rocky's point, and here's the finicky part, right? The word respect is not shared across the space. It's not. But I like the idea of every coach saying, you know what? Because the conference is what's matters. The conference games are what matters because we're playing for, a right to win the conference, but also to go to the SWAC championship game. But what the SWAC lacks from coach to coach and team to team is what the SEC has. And you know what that is? Conference pride. We'll have plenty of fans say, oh, we don't care about conference pride because when we play against so-and-so, y'all wouldn't rooting for us, whatever the case may be. That's fan talk. But as a conference, we don't take pride in saying we want whoever we play to respect our brand of ball. Because at the end of the day, your name is what matters. It's different when you go out here from a non-conference slate because my thing is every coach and every team should have the mental and the fortitude to say, we want to see how truly good we are and play our best against whoever best. Because there's something about, I don't care who it is, and there's something about beating another good team or beating what's perceived to be a really good team. Because let me say this, and Steve, I told you this before, all SWAC fans contradict themselves every week. Every last one of them contradict themselves, right? Because there are a huge segments of SWAC fans that say, oh, we don't care about non-conference games. We don't care about this. All we care about is winning the SWAC and going to the Celebration Bowl, right? Well, let me tell you how you contradict yourselves. Hey, when that schedule come out, and we ain't talking about the non-conference game, F them. Oh, man, we play FAMU. We got Southern. Because whoever in conference that you perceive is going to be a good game, you get up and you look forward to that one. Right now, when the season first came out, what's the one thing everybody been talking about? Oh, what time of the year Jack State play Alabama State? Because the way the game was last year, we know that's going to be a good game. That's the de facto SWAC East Championship. So you're contradicting yourself because you're saying that about the SWAC games for the perceived good teams. Nobody, look, no, I don't mean no disrespect, but I'm using an example. There is not a single team right now in the conference who's saying, oh, I'm looking forward to that Valley game. The only Valley game they're looking forward to this year is just when they play FAMU because they only beat FAMU the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's fair.
But if you take that away, nobody's looking at their schedule and say, oh, yeah, we look forward to playing UAPB or playing Valley. Not a single one. You know why, Steve? Why? Oh, because, oh, man, we're going to be Valley. We didn't worry about that game. So you contradict yourselves every week. So my point is there's something when you can stick your chest out when you know you beat a good FAMU team. Nobody's saying that you got to go out here and play Alabama or play Georgia or play Ole Miss. But don't tell me you wouldn't get excited to play Troy State and you beat them. Because I don't know if y'all remember last year around this time, Alabama State played UAB. And every SWAC fan was going crazy because what? Man, Andrew Body put up these crazy numbers and they should have beat UAB. But so why does it matter if they beat them or not, right? You know why it mattered, y'all? Because it was UAB and it was an FBS school. Because if that was Tuskegee for the first game of the year, nobody would have even cared. So again, they contradict themselves every year. So my thing is just have the same energy. Man, there's nothing wrong with playing a competitive schedule. You don't have to play the toughest, but play a game that's a 50-50 crapshoot. You can either win this game or you can lose this game. Because I promise you, to a man, if you play a competitive schedule and you win those games, you feel a hell of a lot better when you do get in conference play and you have some success.
Well, so I'm gonna tell you on my idea, and see, this is why I like my idea on a couple of things, right? And this is how it would have to work, right? But that's why I like the SWAC moving around, because the biggest argument is, I'm not gonna do the rinse and repeat, but is who plays where first, right? That's always the argument and stuff like that. But my thing is, if you lock in, and maybe you do a 2-year deal with a conference, right? You do it 2 years. So you say, you know what? But this is the reason why I like there needs to be a cutoff, because unfortunately, some of our schools, compared to some of their lower level schools, the resources are just not the same. It's just not the same. So I'd rather for the ones that we deem heavyweights, and like I said, we can add on, but the ones that release the resources somewhere in that range to play. And then you know what? We mix it up. Jack State, go wherever, go to Tarleton or whatever, and vice versa next year. And then we move on to the next conference.
Yep.
But you have your heavyweights that at least have the money that they've invested into the athletics. And like I said, because I don't think it's fair for Valley right now to play the last team in the Southland. I just don't think that's fair. Because I bet you if we look at the numbers, the money just doesn't add right. But I tell you what, if I want to see FAMU, Grambling, Southern, Jack State, Alabama State, Prairie View, Texas Southern. See, I think we could go 8-9 deep before I would get worried, to be honest with you. So my thing is,
the top 5 schools have comparable budgets to most schools in the what is Stephen F. Austin in? They're in the Southland.
We have to check. But go ahead.
I'm sure my man we about to bring up knows. So
yeah. No, he's saying everybody get a shot. No. See, not in my world. Look, we don't do participation. I'm all about trying to win that thing. So it's kind of like I'm gonna give you an example. You know, if you ever see the relay and stuff, and you know how they have the persons run the early rounds and stuff like that, just to get. But see, when it comes to that finals, I ain't got nothing but my stud. Because my thing is, to me, I'm looking at it from a PR standpoint. If we play 5 games, we gotta go 3-2 at least. But see, we start going deeper down that line, then that's when they start picking up wins.
Yeah, but you know what, Steve? But see, I made the difference. Forget the 5 games. Say you go 6. Even if you go 500, that's a win.
Oh yeah, no. I'm just
that's a win.
But my point is going deeper in the conference where we know there's some discrepancies even in the conference. But I just want to say that. But listen, man, I'm gonna get to my next thing because man, this is Sipping on Sundays on a Monday. This is gonna be our new slot coming in and everything. But listen, I gotta bring up something because I saw something, and you know there was a rule that got changed that I was wondering if these HBCUs are gonna take advantage of. So I saw this today. And I said, wait a minute. Look who's back. Look who's back, Zoe.
Oh, I love it.
Southern folks say, look who's back.
I love it.
All-American Kelby Gibbons announced on Instagram that he's returning to Southern for his 5th year. Of course, comes up an injunction. So he's back. 3-time All-American. So, Zoe, the first people that I saw that was being all greedy about this was your folk down there on 1300 Lynch Street. Because y'all were the first ones that I saw. And this is the ones that y'all, no, that's not it. Let me get to my wrong. There we go. Hold on one second. Let me get to my guys. Because I want to talk about these Jack State because I got my man. He going to break this down. Because I saw this. I said, wait a minute. Let me get my nephew on here to really tell me who's coming back. So look at this, Zoe. Look at y'all all at the Fan Fest. Look at you. Got your big guys, Reed Pulliam, BJ Washington. Zaris Bowie, Reed Pullum was, all SWAC first team and all that stuff. BJ was 15.
We're not done. We're not done.
So listen, man. I got my nephew. You know how it is. We multiracial on this family over here, off script channel, right? So I said, nephew, come on over here and help your uncle out and tell me who's actually coming back and who we should be looking for. Because I just heard, just real quick, that Ron Jenkins, my favorite FAMU player, is coming back. I just heard that just 5 minutes ago. So, Blue, thank you for joining the show. Sipping on Sundays on Monday. So tell us in the SWAC and MEAC world who's coming back and who we should be looking for.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Kelby's I've heard for a few weeks now. I've heard the Jackson names for about. I've heard them. I've been sitting on those for a while. I was just told I couldn't really break it until they hit the roster. They didn't want that leaking, but man, big pickups, man, because you guys know this, man. You can never have enough depth on the D line, O line. So, man, the more guys we can have that fill key spots for us, the better. Also, too, you mentioned Reed Pulliam hasn't been officially added to the roster yet. I think they're still working to try to get him back in. We'll see. But that'll be a big one because Jackson also lost the kid they brought in from Virginia Union, the transfer linebacker. He left campus. He's gone. So Reed, that's a really, really important pickup for them because they need more depth in that room, especially losing one of the guys that they thought were going to be in the 2 deep for them. But D-line was big for Jackson, man. Bringing Bowie back and potentially, one other person that hasn't been announced. Man, that they have all new faces on the D-line, man. You look at Jackson, they expect to win the SWAC championship, get the Celebration Bowl. You got to have depth on the D-line, and that's somewhere where Jackson really struggled last year. There's a few guys that left PV that I haven't necessarily heard confirm that they're coming back, but I do want to make one thing clear. So I'm talking to some FCS GMs. All these guys are being added back to the roster. They're practicing. They're in school. From what I hear is if the appeal isn't settled by week 1, none of these guys are going to actually play yet. Because a lot of these schools don't want to play these guys. The NCAA win that appeal, and then they have to forfeit the game.
Yep.
So if you got to pay, because obviously the NCAA won an appeal today, but it wasn't the same class of 2022 appeal in Colorado. It's the one in Ohio. So what they're going to wait on, like for everyone following this story, what you need to wait on is, does the NCAA win their stay in their appeal process for the Colorado, and specifically Colorado class of 2022 injunction that was passed? Because what's going to happen is, so let's just use Jackson for an example. If the NCAA gets its stay, all those players become ineligible. But let's just say it gets pushed back, right? And Jackson has to play Tennessee State before we hear anything back from the judge. Jackson State's probably not going to play Reed Pulliam, BJ Washington, or any of those guys, because what will happen is if Jackson wins that game in the NCAA, we know the NCAA likes to punish FCS schools more than P4s. So what will happen is the NCAA could come in later and say, well, we told y'all not to play them. Y'all played them. Well, now guess what? Y'all are going to have to forfeit that win. And then what happens for the teams that might open up with conference games, guys? What happens if you got to forfeit a conference game and now you can't go to your conference championship, or for FCS schools, now you can't go to the playoffs?
Lou, can I ask you a question? Why of all of the, all the lawsuits that the NCAA have lost, why have they chose to appeal and fight this one particularly more aggressively than some of the other rulings that have been made against them?
Well, I think the timing is why they're aggressively fighting it, Rocky. I mean, you look at, because I think this rule was really kind of started for basketball players, right? Because you have some time before the season starts to kind of flip those rosters. They're fighting this because the situation at Jackson, that kid left for a reason, Rocky. He was projected to start. Well, now you bring back your starter from last year. Well, Rocky, guess where that kid's going to be now? On the bench. So he dipped. So the NCAA's argument is, well, guys, now we took an opportunity away from a player who, in a good faith, signed with this university, wants to go to this program, but now all these kids are getting a year right before the season starts. How, and at the end of the day, listen, you can make an argument whether class of 2022 should have got a 5th year, all that, right? I get that. But the NCAA is fighting because the chaos that will ensue being this close to the season. I think that's why it's making it so passionate right now, Rocky. If this was happening in February, I think the NCAA would have let it go through. All those class of 22 kids would have came back. But the fact that it's August 17th and we kick off in 10 days, you can't have this rule pass.
Well, I've looked at extensive research. I don't see any prominent players on the FBS level that teams are bringing back. So, my question is, go ahead.
Oh, for them, they can't though, because just think about it, Rocky. Because now, if you sign an NFL contract, you can't come back regardless. How many players left those SEC schools and aren't in a preseason camp right now? Maybe less than 3 on any given roster in the SEC. So, I don't think
some of those kids they don't want back anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And so some of those kids, now there have been some SEC and P4 programs to add players that, got injunctions elsewhere and have brought kids back just on a wait and see basis. They're on the practice squad right now. And if this gets passed, they might bring them back. But the problem here, Rocky, is you look at in Alabama, all those guys that be eligible to come back are playing in the NFL preseason right now, and they can't. And so I think that's why you're not seeing a lot of P4 schools want to take advantage of this. Now, the thing where you'll see the floodgates open, Rocky, on P4, if they open the transfer portal, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Everyone's going, you're going to see P4s pick up everybody. If they get a special transfer portal window right before the season, that's what the NCAA is trying to argue against, is you cannot just let a free-for-all happen literally 2 weeks before the season.
Yeah, I'm a chaos kind of guy. I kind of root for chaos in those kind of situations. Only because, and I've said this many times, I think the oppressive nature of college athletics historically has created a situation that we're in now. And those people who have perpetuated it for so long, I think this is a reckoning that they deserve, in my opinion. Player mobility and chaos. I think they deserve it based on the fact that they tried to deny, especially players of my generation. There were guys suspended for hamburgers and slices of pizza in my generation. And so for that reason alone, I can't find in and I know for competitive reasons I probably should side with the NCAA on this one, but I just can't in principle because of what they've done to the players of our generation and before.
Same here, Rocky, because not only that, but coaches. You have so many coaches who railroaded players, who are blatantly, when a player used to transfer back when we were coming up, to where they would guide where they could transfer and where they couldn't transfer to, or do things to ruin their career. So I'm in a way, yes, I'm for chaos as well now, because also being a Division I AA guy, we've always gotten the short shaft. You know what I'm saying? The NCAA is always, played double jeopardy when it came to us. They would go for the hammer, destroy the FCS programs, minimize what they could do and everything else, and turn a blind eye to all the Division I or FBS stuff. So I'm for chaos too.
My last question to Blue is, and I just wanted to ask him this: how are the coaches embracing this rule change? Is it largely saying coaches are saying, okay, because it seemed like to me they have their roster set. They may have to make some expansions. I don't see how this doesn't require some type of roster expansion if this opens up for a team. And so are coaches embracing this, having more players on their roster? I can understand them doing that. But at the same time, does it create a situation where they have to deny a kid an opportunity who probably earned it? But may have to, since I don't even know what the situation is now. You can't redshirt anymore. So I don't know what it is if a kid signed with Jackson State and for some reason his scholarship is lifted or he has to go on some inactive participation kind of status.
Well, here's the one thing though. I think that would have been a bigger issue if it would have been the days of the 63 scholarships like we used to have at this level. Mm-hmm. This would have been, bro, no one's coming back at all. There's just no room. But Rocky, there's nobody in the FCS that has a full 105 right now.
Okay.
Like there's a bunch that are really close, but everybody has at least one spot open. And so I think that created some flexibility. And so we'll see. But here's the thing that you also got to look at is you can expand the roster. There's a hard cap of 105. The courts ruled that the NCAA's roster limit and NIL limit, rev share limit doesn't change. You can come back, but if your team spent all your money, you ain't getting no money. If a team, doesn't have a roster spot for you, then guess what, man? I guess you can't come back. That ain't our problem. You should have got this sooner. And so I think that has limited the flexibility you see teams happen. But then with the situation that I've heard, it's not just Jackson. There's a few other teams where they brought guys back and then the players just decided they didn't want to battle for their spot. So they left. Well, guess what, man? You made it easy for me now. Now I got a free roster spot. And I trust my all-American linebacker way more than this new kid. So go ahead, leave. We don't care. And it opens up a spot for us. And I think that's the approach. And coaches are trying their best to stay on top of this, Rocky. But really until we hear back on this appeal process from the NCAA, the coaches are just being as cautious as possible. We'll bring you back in the building. We'll make sure all our ducks in a row because if NCAA loses this appeal, we want this guy ready. And then the other thing, too, is you got to get these guys in shape, Rocky. That's the biggest thing. Coaches wanted to get these players on campus as soon as possible because the guys that are coming from, let's just say they got a mini camp invite, Rocky, they're probably in shape because they were just at a mini camp and they've been staying in shape waiting for their opportunity. What about the kid that didn't get a mini camp invite? Rocky, I played offensive line. I know you played the line too. Bro, when we're done with football, it goes one way.
It's buffet time, baby. It's buffet time.
We're done with football. Man, because we were the ones that had to eat a certain way and work out. And listen, the wide receiver, it's really easy to stay in shape, man, because he probably got a fast metabolism. He's 160. Don't worry about it. But me, guys, if you bring back
conditioning test was the biggest challenge of the entire year for me. The conditioning test was, and once I passed the conditioning test, everything else was downhill at that point.
I was about to say, man,
exactly.
where do you get 160 from, Blue?
Oh, well, so some of the, man, have you seen some of these wide receivers?
The individual ones.
Yeah, but listen, there's a lot of 160, 170 guys across the SWAC, man. These little slot receivers, man, are not big at all. But I mean, just think about the O linemen in the SWAC, guys. We talk about it every year about how some of these guys are already sloppy now.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine 6 months off, Rocky? Imagine just you going back to your playing days, man. You happen to go play a season, no spring, no summer training, and no fall camp. Would you have been ready to go out there week one?
Oh no.
No, dude, I would have died. I mean, y'all would have seen me throwing up out there.
It would have been at least mid-season before I was fit to play, at least.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. So that's what I would also tell people is you might see a high-profile guy come back, but let's pump the brakes. That kid might not be ready to hit the field till week 4 or 5 because you can't put him out there and he'll be a liability. So that's the other thing is teams and coaches wanted to get these kids on campus just to have their ducks in a line, but also to get them ready, Rocky, because the longer you have in the weight room and conditioning, the quicker they can get on the field. And so I think the coach's approach is let's be ready in case the gate opens. If it never opens and the NCAA wins, and guess what? These kids just go home. And we're right back where we were before all this.
I do hope these kids get a GA spot or something like that. So for them to continue whatever classes they signed up for or anything like that, because I think it would be disappointing for them to establish housing, get enrolled in school, and then for even, because of this ruling, they're no longer able to be part of the team, because I think kids in that situation can contribute if that's what they want to do from, another way if they're not able to play. So,
well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you can actually look forward to seeing the same thing happen next season. The only difference is it'll be another institution, and it'll be for the class of 2023.
Well, no, class of 2023 gets a year already for the 5 for 5.
Yeah, they get the 5th year. So my guys told me on the FBS level that they are not really concerned about this because everybody that they wanted back, they got waivers for a 5th year. So that's something that they addressed when the ruling came down in the spring. They just, rather than guys entering the draft or something like that, they applied for waivers for, and the NCAA was very lenient with giving guys that 5th year, even though maybe their freshman year they played 8 games or 9 games. They still was able to give them a waiver because they applied for waivers. I don't know why this particular situation in Colorado they weren't given the same grace.
Well, what happened? Like, so the people, like, obviously, what happened is this started the same way, right? So you talk about everyone going to get their extra year, right? Suing. Well, that's what this Colorado lawsuit was initially trying to do. Was a group of athletes were just trying to get their own TRO, Rocky. What no one expected was the judge just said, "Screw it." Everyone in the class of 2022 gets a rule, like gets an extra year. That's what caught everyone off guard. All the other individual cases you're talking, this Colorado judge was expected to do that. So initially the group of Colorado, plaintiffs were going to get their year back. What made this case special, Rocky, is the judge just said, "Screw it. I'm tired of these stupid lawsuits. Everybody gets a year." And that's what opened the floodgates. That's what separates this case from the case in Ohio, Tennessee. I think there's one in North Carolina. All the individual ones is that this judge just took it a step further with her ruling.
So let me ask you a question. I just for a point of clarification. So this is only applies for kids that went 4 straight. Now, if you redshirted, this doesn't apply to you, right?
Nope.
That's what
doesn't apply.
Okay.
So what had to happen is you had to come in as a true freshman in 2022, play your sophomore year, play your junior year, play your senior year, and then you graduated. Now, what the reason that if you redshirted or whatever that doesn't apply to you is because you're getting your 5 years.
Gotcha. Because you're getting the 5.
You still be in school. Like if you redshirted in 20, like you still be, because Jonas Fortillian's a class of 2022 kid. Well, he's eligible anyway because.
But he wouldn't be able to get a year. What I'm talking about, but he wouldn't get a year afterwards. No, that's what I'm talking about.
No, he shouldn't. Yeah. He shouldn't be able to. I mean, maybe he sues and he does, but I don't see why he would.
That one of the things that when you're seeing this, and again, I'm not mad at Southern being excited. I'm sure they're excited, and I'm excited for Nayron Jenkins. I'm excited for kids to be able to go to school. You know what I mean? Pick up another degree and stuff like that. But the thing, to your point, is continuity. Guys didn't practice. How they fit in chemistry wise, and then just if you're Kelby Givens to the point now, here's my thing: brand new coach, new staff. I heard about that you're good, but you got to show me. And again, I'm not saying because the kid probably is a great kid, but I'm just using. Let's take his name out. It's player A. Hey man, I'm a 3-time All-American. You know what I'm saying? I'm the man here. And then you're like, I don't know about that, bro. You got to figure. So I'm wondering how those kids work that, and the coaches work that out. Especially ones that got new coaches.
Well, I talked to 2 head coaches just offline about this, and they said, "Man, listen, we had more kids that could come back. We weren't bringing anybody back that we didn't feel like was going to mess with the culture we had in the locker room. They might have been a good player. They could have been a good depth piece." He said, "I'm not messing with the chemistry of my team this late." He said, "So if we had any question about whether you were a cancer to this locker room or you weren't going to click with the guys we had in the room or you were going to be a distraction," he said, "Man, we just told you we didn't want you back." He said, "We could have brought you back, but we felt like the risk of that would outweigh bringing you back." And listen, everything I've heard about Kelby, Mr. Campbell, is that he's a great dude, great locker room guy, great leader of that defense. And I'm sure, listen, because there are some people on Southern staff that did coach last year at Southern. They look at like the Fred McNair, like there are guys around the program that were there. I'm 1,000, and also too, let's just be honest here. You don't pass up a guy who's a 3-time FCS All-American. Like at some point, you're just like, yeah, we're going to take the risk here and bring him back in.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think, Gibbs, like you say, heard nothing but great things about it. And that's why I didn't want to use him as the example. That's why I said, let me change that, not him being him. So like I said, no disrespect to you, Kel, because I think you're going to be great for Southern. You understand the culture. You understand what it takes to be a great player. And like I say, hell, and Southern needs him. There's a reason, to your point, they're bringing him back. They need him. So I think that's really good for those kids. And like I say, we'll see what the Jack State kids, and, shout out my boy Nayron, you know what I mean? Because I'm really excited for them to get on the field and have another chance. Now, Blue, I got you here. Go ahead. No, go
ahead. Someone in the chat said Givens went to a mini camp. I do want to make this very clear. Like, so people get this confused. Players that just get a mini camp tryout invite never sign an NFL contract.
That's true.
So those kids were eligible to come back. If you signed as a UDFA or a PFA, you cannot come back because you officially signed a contract to the NFL. So the kids that just went to, let's say they went to 4 mini camps and tried out, as long as you never signed a contract, you can come back. But as soon as if Givens would have went to a mini camp and signed, he wouldn't have been able to come back. That's the distinction that I think people forget about there.
Yeah, no, and thanks for that clarification. Because you know one thing about social media, you see, oh no, he can't play. He was in the camp, he got paid, but I saw the same thing too. So I'm glad you clarified that. Now, Blue, before because I know what everybody's here for, but I did see one thing that I wanted to ask you because I got you here. You're an SEC guy, and I saw this, and you know we're about to talk about what's going on with man Jayden Daniels, Blue. Because let's talk about this real quick. Because I was like, my boy, now hold on. I'm like, boy, you acting like you know Joe Burrow. So let's talk about this real quick. And I shout out to Jayden Daniels and stuff like that. I think he's a great kid, but this was real interesting. Jayden Daniels ceases to assist LSU at Pickett is given number 5. Attorneys representing Jayden Daniels has informed LSU they can no longer use his name, image, and likeness, according to a letter sent to Tigers athletic director Osbury at Cowboys Show by ESPN. At the center of the dispute, according to the statement, was Daniels' spokesman to ESPN, is that the Tigers are allowing sophomore cornerback DJ Pickett to wear number 5 that Daniels wore when he became LSU's 3rd Heisman Trophy winner. While Daniels' jersey hasn't been retired by the Tigers, it's the first time a player has worn it. The Daniels family is deeply disappointed and profoundly disrespected by LSU's decision to give Jayden's number to another player. Jayden and his family have every reason to believe that his number will remain a meaningful part of LSU legacy and will be honored and protected. Now, Blue, okay. And one thing right here, Jayden made it clear he did not want his number given. I saw this, and I had to think about this really hard. I said, okay, he won the Heisman. I understand that. But they didn't win a national championship. They didn't play in, correct if I'm wrong, they didn't play in the SEC championship that year, right?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I don't believe so. How is it? And mind you, they have rules how they retire their jerseys. How you
Joe Burrow still doesn't have his number retired at LSU. Right. There's like a I forgot how long the wait is on it, but like
it's like a waiting period that you have to do it, and that's what I'm saying. And like say Joe Burrow went 15-0. I'm like, okay, so
Jayden Daniels went 9-3 that year.
So that's why I'm like, again, and this is what it says. It says that LSU policy regarding jerseys being retired, which is put on the athletic department, does not preclude a current student athlete in the sport from wearing that jersey in that or any other sport, subject to discretion of the head coach. So that's the thing about, and the LSU policy states that an athlete must have completed competition for 5 years before being nominated for a jersey retirement. And he or she must have demonstrated a truly unusual, outstanding accomplishment, such as winning Heisman Trophy, which he did. So that's why I'm like, bro, they got the rules right there.
Well, even if they didn't have the rules, the thing that's really a turnoff is you can tell in reading some of the language that pretty much Lane Kiffin used his number, and the player who wearing the number wants to wear the number because he wore it. And so the thing is, you can tell it's a recruit ploy, to get in that number. But LSU, for example, like so many other colleges, they have distinguished numbers that players want to wear. The number 7 is huge at LSU. Just like number 18 is huge at Ole Miss. And so the thing that I have a problem with in this case scenario is the fact that, because I'm just speaking on what was reported, I've read several different articles, was that they or his camp was bothered that they gave his number to a DB. You know what I'm saying? And the thing with that is I've heard some current NFL players or former NFL players on some of these shows be in agreement with this because of this new NIL climate. I'm like, man, that has nothing to do with the price of tea in China. At the end of the day, just because you're in your feelings, you feel like you have some leverage because you had some success and you won a trophy, but you weren't the only person at that school to win a trophy. Because if that's the case, look, let me let you guys in on a little secret. I used to live in Louisiana. Let me tell you something. He is not bigger than Billy Cannon down there at LSU. Trust me when I tell you. Billy Cannon's number is not retired at LSU.
No, it's retired. No, Billy Cannon's number is retired.
Yeah, it is retired now.
Because he is nowhere beloved like Billy Cannon is. Every year in October, you're going to hear about that damn punt return against Ole Miss. Trust me when I tell you. But then you have other players who are beloved there, and they want to wear their numbers. So the gall, to sit here and be like, I just won a Heisman, and nobody should wear my number. And then for you to write a letter, or because let me say this,
letter from an attorney.
Because let me say this,
threatened to sue.
What that cease and desist tells you is that there has been some dialogue way before this. Had to have been, because nobody just come with a cease and desist out the blue like this. So there was some type of dialogue. He probably voiced his displeasure, or probably put it out there that he wanted his number to be retired. Who knows? But there was some dialogue before to actually get to the point to have a cease and desist. So the fact that it didn't happen, now you got all this, because, man, you bring a letter with the cease and desist, and it's like, how dare you give my number to a DB, a freshman who wanted to wear the number because you wore it. Just think about that. So my thing is, man, I'm going to say this because the word is out pretty much. I don't know, but pretty much word is out there. Like, his mom has his hand in a lot of this. Man, she's really ruining a lot of stuff for this kid. He's a grown man at this point. And I'm going to say this real quick, Rocky. So my thing is, his mom is really, really tarnishing his name and reputation really, really badly. And, man, this was not going to get. This is not going. My thing is, bro, no matter how you slice this, no matter how you try to approach it, this was not going to end well for you. You're in the NFL currently playing, and you're actually putting a cease and desist to your college while you're playing for a player to not wear your number, and, you know, to no longer use my NIL, don't use my likeness. It's like, you're not giving me what I want, so y'all can't use me. It's like I didn't go to school. Now what really is happening? You're making this scene. Now you're proving all of your former teammates at Arizona State to be right. I don't know if y'all remember how it was when he left, but now you're proving them out to be right. And, man, you're grown in the NFL. You're coming out like the comment just said, man, your mom is tarnishing your reputation. But that's all I got with it.
Well, let me just say this, though. I can see it from both sides, right? The fact of the matter, Jalen may have been told something when he won the Heisman, or after he won Rookie of the Year.
No, right? Brian Kelly didn't let DJ Pickett wear 5 last year because he promised Jayden that he wouldn't wear it. But what happened is Brian Kelly got fired, and Lane Kiffin isn't Brian Kelly, and Lane Kiffin doesn't care about Jayden Daniels.
So here, and that's what I was getting to, Zoe, is that Lane Kiffin is the ultimate asshole. And so he's not, let's be honest, he's the ultimate asshole.
Bro, you know what? I beg to differ. Hold on. I don't beg to differ. Hold on. I don't beg to differ that Lane Kiffin is an asshole. There's not worth to go with it. But I'm not putting that part of it to this. I don't care who the coach is. Any coach that come to coach LSU would have done the same thing that Lane Kiffin did. Nobody would have owned up to what Brian Kelly did when he left.
I see, this is why I don't agree. Because nobody's putting on number 10 at Baylor, and they ain't win shit when Robert Griffin was here.
Yeah, but guess what? But that's not done by a coach. That was done by the institution. That's the difference.
And what I'm saying is, this is when the institution has to step in and honor. Again, guys, there's only been 3 Heisman Trophy winners in the entire.
How many have there been at Baylor?
1.
Okay, do you see the difference? Do you see the paradox there?
No,
see the dichotomy there?
I think okay. Let's look at University of Texas.
Hold on, Rocky. Think about it. Watch this.
No one's putting on 20.
No. Watch this. Baylor. I'll take RG3 off. Now talk about football prowess. Go ahead.
With Mike Singletary.
I said football prowess is a program, not a damn player. Go ahead.
Or even RG3 sucked. Like, as a team, they went like 8. They were like 8-4.
My point, Rocky. What I'm saying is,
that's my point. That's my point.
Rocky, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, bro. These people in Louisiana will tell you LSU is a different animal.
Now that you have context with, right? And again, I understand the whole Billy Cannon deal because again, I remember when what's my man name? Odell Beckham's dad, Harvey Williams, all those guys went to LSU from Texas.
Yeah. Yes.
And these guys were saying, even after those guys went on and graduated, went to the league and all this here, there were people I would go to visit Baton Rouge, and in the early 90s, they still say Billy Cannon was the best player to ever play at LSU. Like, they got a love affair with this guy, this 5'10", 140-pound guy that they think is the greatest football player of all time. No, and this is the school of Well, Hilliard Davis and
but wait, Billy Cannon won a Heisman though.
No, and that's my point, Steve. You have to put some respect on the Heisman. The Heisman in and of itself.
Hold on. Here's the thing, Rocky. Let me make sure I make this clear. Winning the Heisman doesn't equate to give you a coupon to get your number retired. Let me start. It does not. It does not, and it should not. It should not. So watch this. So you're gonna tell me Gino Terrell needs to have his number retired? Hell no. Yeah. If Crosby needs to have his number retired? Hell no. I can name you.
Be right back, guys.
Well, also too. Do you want to know what Joe Burrow and Billy Cannon did that Jayden Daniels did it? They both won a national championship.
National champion.
They both won, and I agree with you, Zoe. Here's why I actually don't think Lane Kiffin was in the wrong here, because you know what's going to happen if Lane Kiffin doesn't win this year, guys? It's going to be real uncomfortable in Baton Rouge if you don't make the college football playoff. So guess what? If my freshman All-American corner, who is 6'4", by the way, and a future top NFL prospect, if he says I'm transferring or you give me number 5, guess what I'm going to do?
You get number 5.
He's getting number 5. And listen, if all the fans want all these coaches fired with these buyouts and everything, and if I don't win immediately, I'm trash. Then guess what? This kid's getting number 5 because he's going to be integral in me winning year 1. Sorry, like, and I get. Listen, I get Jayden's side of it. Do I get it from a human perspective? Yes, but if you also want a textbook written on how to absolutely ruin your reputation, this is how. I mean, bro, you couldn't have settled this behind closed doors. That was my own.
Hey, Blue. I was gonna say. Let me say this part too. You talk about making a promise to Jay Daniels, which is going to be more pertinent to your current program? Making a promise to a player who's no longer there, or a high-profile player that I need to have success on this team? It's going to be the incoming players all day long.
1000%. If it's not retired, then it ain't my
problem. Jayden Daniels doesn't even have any leverage in this. He doesn't.
Well, the funniest part is in the cease and desist, like the lawyer came out and said he wants his Heisman Trophy back. Anybody who knows anything about college football, the Heisman play sends the player a Heisman Trophy and the school a Heisman Trophy. Jayden Daniels doesn't even own the trophy. He's telling LSU to send back. That's LSU's property, and LSU can put it up wherever they want with his name on it, and Jayden Daniels can do nothing about it.
Nope.
The fact that his lawyer put out a statement that said we want our Heisman back when it's LSU's Heisman is hysterical to me. Like, that just shows that there was no thought process through any of this from his team, his
emotional.
lawyer, anything.
He's emotional.
Yes, straight emotional.
You know, man, and like I said, we'll put a button on. I just think that sometimes you got to focus on the present and not the past. You're in the NFL, and this is not what you need. You were hurt last year. This is not good PR. He's a great kid. He came in as a rookie, really played well, got hurt. Man, listen, focus on what's going on with the Commanders, man. And like I say, and you know what? And the thing about it, man, and Blue, you know this, it's all about money. Man, you be a good soldier on LSU. Them folks gonna give you money forever. Now, guess what it is? Now water gonna get cut off. Now, and stuff when he need to do autographs, because they're not gonna forget this. They're not gonna forget this.
I tell you what,
like, we're trying to win right now.
I tell you what, Steve, I can guarantee you it'll be a lot of 5 jerseys in the stands in the season.
Bro, have y'all seen social media though? Like, I mean, Jayden Daniels is getting killed on social media. I mean,
that's the only reason why I talked about it. They're killing him.
Like,
they killing him.
What did he benefit from this? Like, you got to think, like, if you send a cease and desist, what do you get from it, right? Does it help you make money in a way? Does it improve your like? You think of what the point of like this legal action is. All he did was, like you said, cut his water off with LSU, ruin his reputation, and now if he doesn't play well for the Commanders this year, good Lord, man, it is going to be brutal this season.
But what made it even worse, it wasn't just the cease and desist. He put a damn statement out.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is, I honestly believe that he didn't even put the statement out. I think his mom did. And his mom is the problem.
Or did y'all see what LSU posted the day after this happened? Where they posted like the fall camp picks, and the very first pick in the carousel they posted was DJ Pickett wearing the 5 in training camp.
With the 5.
Bro, the pettiness of that is unbelievable, man. That's hilarious.
But just tell us how we really feel, man. Because listen, man, and you know this, man. And I know a lot of guys and Rocky's talking about that. That's come through those SEC halls, bro. Once you gone, you gone.
It's a wrap.
They worry about the next guy. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Now, if you some superstar, you Bo Jackson or something like
you
that,
beloved,
then,
you come back, you beloved.
Yeah.
But man,
But
if you ain't,
man, listen, that's a whole nother story. All right, man. Listen, man. Let's do a quick reset. It is Sipping on Sundays on a Monday. Zoe Phillips, Zach McKinnell, Blue to the folks in the hood and all the hood around. And you know what? We are streaming on the Off Script channel and the Rocky Mill channel. And you know what? Because we're on Monday, I got my boy, my classmate. You know who he is. Got his shirt on. First time I ever wore it. So, you know, shout out to him because they started that whole Monday thing back in the day. You know how it is. Him, Kofi, and Scotty. So we taking up the tradition, taking up the mantle. But Blue, since we got you here, we got to go ahead and let you hear what's going on. Excuse me.
Don't get choked up now.
Yeah,
I am choked up because this hurts me. Because people told me I can't talk about this, but I'm gonna talk about it.
I bet.
Oh yeah, you know, yeah, we ain't gonna, you know, we keep it positive. We keep it positive. So man, I get this word that my favorite AD next to Ashley Suggs might be leaving Zoe. Now, Zoe, listen, you know they have like the word on the street. So we're gonna have to get like the word on Northside Drive or Bailey Avenue. So listen, so let's talk about this. Because this, hey man, and this is why, okay, I gotta ask one question, Zoe. Why would Prairie View people, shout out to Seb Bass that's in the chat, was in the chat, shout out to my man Lionel. Why was they riding so hard about this, man? I just want, we putting a button on that. Because I was like, man, come on. But anyway, Jackson State's AD, Ashley Robinson is room for a choice on rival HBCU. Jackson State's VP of Athletics, Ashley Robinson, could be heading to Texas Southern. Terrence Harris of the Houston Defender reported Tuesday that sources have confirmed Texas Southern President J.D. Crawford has presented Robinson for the university vacant athletic director position. Harris also reported Seton Hall assistant Corey Lowry has been presented to Texas. Let's put a button on that because that has definitely changed. So we know Ashley's resume. But so I want to get to one thing. So I checked. Ashley Robinson, with all he makes for Jackson State, he makes around $288,000. He makes like $238 from the school, $40,000 to the Tiger Boosters. Shout out to the Tiger Boosters, and another $18,000 in the housing allowance. But so you know what I got? Because you know I'm like a lawyer by trade. I got the contract. So we're gonna look at the contract real quick and kind of break it down, and then talk about the timeline on how we got here. Because shout out to Kyle Mosley. So they're gonna present this on the 19th. So this is the contract. His name is not on it, of course, because he hasn't been approved. But Zoe, they're going to give him $350,000 for 5 years.
Base.
So you was doing that quick math. So 288, 50, 70, what's that? $71,000 a year?
That's base though.
That's base. Oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. That's base. No income tax down in Texas. He could be, you know, I'm not calling him Swag Denny anymore. I'm calling him Swag Money. He could be Swag Money down there in Houston and everything. And they done signed this nice and neat. So what do you think about what you heard about your AD as of right now, potentially going to Texas Southern for $350,000?
Man, can y'all see? Can you make sure they see me?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let me make sure. Let me adjust this camera. Make sure y'all see me real good when I say this. If that's me, I'm gone. If that's me, I'm gone. I'm finna leave. There's other parameters into this for Ashley on a personal level. We don't get into here, but I could leave Jackson and get $400,000. I get $100,000 raise. And I was going back and forth with somebody on Twitter. Let me make sure I say this clearly too. There is not an AD at any HBCU that's going to turn down what Ashley got offered. Not a single one. Because he playing with house money. You leaving Jack State, creme de la creme, to go to Texas and do 500 ball. Because let's be honest, they hire a coach, man. Ashley get this job, it's official. This was gonna be on the hot seat. The coach for his job. I'm just gonna tell you that out the rip. Point blank period. Just gonna go and tell you. He gonna get another coach in there. If he go 500 or one game above 500, Ashley gonna get an extension. I'm gonna tell you that now. If they win 7-8 games, he get an extension. It's Texas Southern. There is no You got to get to the SWAC championship game. Point blank, period. 400,000. Do my math for me, Steve. It's 1.3. That's 1.2 million in 3 years. That's 2.4 and 6. Who finna turn it down? Who gonna turn it down? If it's me, I'm taking it. But I also wanted to get this out here. I want to get this out here too. Nobody in Jackson. Look, we wish Ashley well. My homeboy from Jacktown went to Murrah. You know what I'm saying? We forgive him for that. But man, look, did an amazing job. He came and did his job. Left Jackson State way better than what he found it. At the end of the day, look, we all say you'll either get terminated or elevated, as Coach Prime would say. And he's leaving Jackson State in a good place and going to do work someplace else. Man, we wish him the best. But it's all and up when it comes to GSU. So at the end of the day, we're happy for him. We hate to see him leave. We're wanting to stay, but then, hey, it's business and we understand. We'll get another one, keep it rolling. The main thing is when you leave in good hands, now the ball's in Jackson State court. Jackson State just need to make a good hire and keep the train rolling. Point blank, period. But this whole thing, like, oh my God, he's left. Jackson's going to be this. Hey, Steve, what was his energy when we hired him? Right? There was none of his energy when he hired because nobody foresaw what he was going to do when he got here. But he ended up doing it. So he ended up doing what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It is what it is. So again, we congratulate him. You know what I'm saying? And we'll get to word on the street in a minute. But at the end of the day, man, look, salute my bro, man. Athlete Rob, man, go out there, man. Get your money on, get your chicken.
So Zoe, my question would be this, so, and this is not making any indictment on Jackson State or whatever. This is just how I'm looking at it. He literally is the toast of the town in Jackson. He is you can point to him as being the person that initiated this era of Jackson State football, this dominant era of Jackson State football. And the key moment from outside looking in was him hiring Coach Prime, right? So my point is asking him this. Why would he leave his hometown? Why would he leave and go to a place where he could literally struggle, as a program? And here's the other deal. Is he just taking on a new challenge, or is he actually abandoning a sinking ship? That's from the outside looking in, that's what I have to ask. Is he taking on the next challenge, or does he know something we all don't know by going? Because he's not going to what I would consider a better job. He's getting paid more money. TSU is certainly not a better job. So that's why I asked the question. Is he taking on the next challenge, or is he abandoning a sinking ship?
Well, he's not abandoning a sinking ship. And I wouldn't even say he's taking on a new challenge. I would just simply say opportunities come when they come. Opportunity came, thought about it, felt it was best for him, and he took it. It's that simple. But it's not a sinking ship. I don't think it's that. I don't think he wants that challenge. Knowing Ashley the way I do, I'm not going to. I know for his face he's not looking at it as a challenge. Opportunity presented itself, came and he took it. Opportunity comes when it comes. I saw EA say, "Oh, it was 2 weeks for the season." Man, look, opportunity comes when it comes. Point blank, period. You get offered a job when you get offered a job. It wasn't like he got offered a job 2 months ago.
Can I ask a question? Okay, so I get the point, Rocky, but like, does A.D. Robinson suit up and play quarterback for Jackson State or play wide receiver? Like, what does 2 weeks before the season have to do with anything?
No, that's not the point. That's not the point I'm making. I'm making a broader point about what could be going on in Jackson that we're not aware of behind the scenes.
Look, I'm gonna simply tell you, there's nothing going on in Jackson. It's business as usual.
Okay.
We just now need to search for an AD. I mean this here. I'm not giving conjecture. I'm not talking in code. I'm being straight black and white. There's no sinking ship. There's nothing going on in Jackson. AD simply got presented with a great opportunity. The timing was what it was. And again, I'm telling you, if it's me, Zoe Phillips just got married. If it's me, let Google tell me they want to come give me $150,000 more, and I'll be in Cupertino, California, real fast. It is what it is.
So, Blue, let me ask you a question, because this is what I wanted to get to you. So, if he goes there, this is Chris Disman's third year, and his contract is up. So, you that follows this FCS, new AD comes in. How tough is this? Or do you think Chris Disman in the back of his mind is, I got to be Prairie View, I got to be Grambling, I got to be Southern, because I got a guy that, to the point, has won championships, and he knows, as he say, he has a short list every day, all day. What do you think Chris Disman is thinking right now?
I mean, I think he's getting his ducks in a row, man, because at the end of the day, the worst thing that happened for Chris Dishman is Tremaine Jackson at PV. If PV would have just kept being what they were, where they'd win, the West every once in a while, and they could get smacked in the SWAC championship, and the series was kind of like, that's the worst thing that happened to Dishman, is now just being a mediocre coach isn't going to be enough. And on top of that, too, all the other stuff around the football program, playing at high school stadiums, all that Ashley's going to come in and fix that right away if this is all true. But I think if Dishman doesn't beat PV this year, and they're not at least like competitive again in that first game against PV, I think it's a wrap for him. I think Ashley's going to bring in his guy.
Blue, I hate to correct you. It don't matter. It don't matter if he beats Prairie View.
No, it does, because if he beats Prairie View, they have a really good shot to win the West with how the rest of those teams are looking.
Blue, Ashley got a top 5 right now. Trust me.
Yeah, I would expect Teresa Quinn to be at the helm at Texas Southern next year.
Can you imagine firing a coach after he gets to the SWAC championship? Like the season after, like he on the field SWAC championship gets fired. Could you imagine?
Well, that's the whole thing, and that's what I think now. And shout out to Coach Disman, because he's been on HBC Coach's Corner. But I think he's just in a place that is just really tough, because you weren't expecting. Well, I guess you had to expect there was going to be an AD, because I mean it's been an interim, so you knew somebody was going to get hired. But it works to your disadvantage. Where this is at the end of your contract, so no matter what happens, it's just a clean break, and we can move on, whatever. So to me, it's just, and I think all coaches are coaching for their job, but I think this is one of those situations where now you really are coaching for your job, because like you say, Blue, every game now, because guess what? And we live in reality. So listen, Coach Disman, we live in reality. So I'm saying this is not about you. But if you guys lose the Prairie View game,
it's
guess
over.
what the Texas Southern people are going to be like, and now I'm going to say the delusional Texas. Oh, we're going to get TC next year. TC coming next. That's literally what I'm telling you, going to see that tweet. You're going to see that tweet from somebody from Texas that we never see. Confirm, we never see anybody on Texas Southern on social media. But if that game goes the wrong way, it is going to be immediate that the names are going to be flying out and things like that. And what I hate about Ashley Robinson, then he's going to have to deal with that, because I'm pretty sure he wants still to have a successful season, but that thing is going to fly off the handle. So already, that game that already has so many things laying on it, like you said, Blue, and now if that happens, and then of course we got the PV-12 that's going, the PV-12 is losing their mind, because they're happy that he's leaving Jack State, and then they're laughing that he's going to Texas Southern. So it's just crazy what they're going to stir up. Rocky, what you about to say?
No, my question, like, I think Ashley, if Ashley wants to come to your school, it's a no-brainer, right? And you can make the money right, it's no-brainer. But to your point, what happens in all the other space, and let's say football, because I think that's where Ashley has known for, he's hired 3 championship coaches in over the past, 15 years? 4. He hired Willie Simmons. He hired Deion Sanders, T.C. Taylor. I don't know who the 4th one is. Who's the 4th one? So
he hired Dooley at PV. It was this SWAC championship game as well.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. I don't count that game, but okay.
And was Willie there? Wait, did he not hire Willie at PV too?
Yep,
he did.
He did. No, I said Willie Simmons.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he didn't win a championship in Prairie View.
No, but what did they win a championship at Prairie View?
No, but
That's
he's
right,
the
yeah.
championship coach.
But he's a championship coach, though.
But I was saying Dooley actually made the championship game while he was at Prairie View as well.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I wouldn't put Dooley in that caliber though.
We're gonna talk about that in a second.
But here's the point. The overarching point I want to make is that I think a guy like Ashley Robinson can come in and say, "Hey, I know championship coaches. I've hired them 3 times. I understand that Dishman had a 6-4, 7-4 season, and that's great, right? But he can't get it done here at TSU. I'm willing to hire somebody who can get it done." Now, what I'd like to know is, I don't know off the top of my head, and many of you may know, what is currently Chris Dishman's salary, and I'd like to know where it ranks among coaches in the SWAC, because if it ranks pretty high in the SWAC, they may be able to get a better coach with not investing very much money, much more money. They may not have to do with Southern.
Making a base salary of $313,000 according to the Houston
Lord, that is insane.
No, Ashley Robinson did not hire Tamika Reed.
And I also want to make you guys don't let me forget, under very tragic circumstances, I had to travel to Baton Rouge this past weekend, and I spent a lot of time with my family and a whole bunch of Southern alumni. And we had among the situation, we were able to talk a little football with some prominent Southern alumni, and I was really surprised at their overall attitude toward this upcoming season. And I'd like to briefly discuss that at some point during this.
Listen, here's the thing about it. But once again, according to word on the street, he ain't the only person that the Texas Southern people are talking about. So we're going to talk about one of their homegrown. And I thought this was pretty interesting. Hopefully I can share this because we got everybody on the screen. But let's see here. And shout out to Data Driven. They do some really good stuff. Am I able to put everybody? Maybe not. Yep, there we go. So this right here, and I saw this, and these guys do really good work and stuff like that. TSU alums take their case for Tony Wiley to Fox 26. So Tony Wiley is a TSU alum, and it looks like they talked to one of the reporters down there, and 4 guys. And again, the panel include Tim Johnson, class of 79, 83, a member of the Sports Hall of Fame; Donovan Campbell, a 2024 Hall of Fame inductee in baseball; Bruce Boudreau, a Texas Southern alum originally from Abbeville; and Brian Douglas. I guess because he's a Q, they just had to mention that he's a Q. Griffin opened up knowing that the university set to hire Jackson State's AD Ashley Robinson. But these guys said the case for Wiley rested less on a comparison of resume and more on relationships. Campbell described Wiley arriving in Houston for what the group characterized as an interview, being greeted at the airport with "welcome home." Johnson argued value was his shared experience. He's a TSU Tiger. I don't know how you make people understand that. Oh, see, there you go, wrong with that. There's a value in the experience plus what he brings. Douglas framed both the appeal around Wiley's Houston roots and fraternity and family networks in the city, arguing that the ties could translate into fundraising and recruiting. So also, let's go. So let me tell you, who is Tony? Hold on. Right, stop for a second. Stop. So let's kind of talk about who this guy is. So again, he's worked for, I think, the NFL, 6 NFL teams. He's got his MBA from Rice. He graduated with journalism. So he worked with the Rams, the Titans, the Texans, and the Commanders. And last was senior vice president of communications. He's a 5-time Pete Rozelle Award winner. So again, here's the thing. He is a TSU Tiger. He's born and bred. The alumni want him. I know that fight. We fighting the fight down there at FAMU about getting an alumni. Blue. And we're just going to delve into something we're going to talk about. I've known 2 things when it comes to alumni affairs, right? The alumni have a guy that they want, that they think is best. And the AD and president have a guy that they trust and are comfortable with. Blue, what do you think about the Texas Southern alum saying this is a homegrown guy, he has this resume, and we need to get him and not Ashley Robinson?
I mean, how many times do we have to watch this story play out that fans can't make these decisions? They don't know what's best. They're not qualified to make these decisions. We saw it with FAMU. We've seen it with other, how many times do we have to see that like just because you went to a university doesn't mean you know what's best for the university. Sometimes you just got to let the people make the decision. Like you're telling me you want this dude over Ashley Robinson. The dude was the FCS athletic director of the year. Twice. And you want this random dude just 'cause he Blue. Man, come on, man.
Say it again. The FCS
athletic director of the year.
Twice. So let me just say this to you before you go. So do people realize why people require like resumes, right? Because you're trying to file and filter through, because in all things in life, we all want guarantees. That's the reason why you have a resume. That's why you do these things, because you want somebody to take they want a minimal risk. We want as much of a guarantee as possible. So I want you guys to look at the two. It's a 50-50 split here, right? We have a proven AD who's been winning since he's been an AD at his previous location. That's why we want him.
And has built facilities. Built facilities.
Built facilities, has done all the things that we want to do. And the only leg we have to stand on, this guy Wiley, which, he's an alum, and he may have done some things, but he's never been an AD before. So I peg you. We want to go from a proven AD to taking a risk just because we like you and you're an AD. We believe in you to do a job. That's why
never held the role of AD anywhere.
Because the main thing is that you know people here and you're a TSU Tiger. Never mind the fact that this guy is a proven winning AD who's won AD of the year, and we've never had an AD of the year. But we're a guy that's won AD of the year twice, and we want to not let him get the job for our alum who's a certified TSU Tiger. Yes, he's been with the university with Johnny Jones, helped the basketball team, went to Memphis. I saw the whole thing. Yeah, it reads good, right? But it pales in comparison to Ashley Robinson.
So the fact that they even want to go won the Commissioner's Cup since Ashley's
this year.
Won this year.
This year.
But hey, man, listen. The guy. Here's my problem when I saw that, right? And listen, and I think two things, because Blue, I will say this. I think it depends, because I'm now about to tell our business. See, at FAMU, we're fighting for a classmate of mine to be the dean of the business school. She's the most qualified, and we are going to war. We are going to war. But what happens is academics is not athletics.
Nope.
Athletics comes with too much passion. Academics, you can literally see the resume really does matter. And you can say 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. So when I saw this and I thought about our fight that we're doing down at FAMU, shout out to Dr. Lakita Blockson. That should be the next SBI dean. Had to put that out there. But when I saw that the guy, and one of the guys that was listed, you got a Hall of Famer, you know what I'm saying? Guy played baseball. And then the guy was like, he's in the fraternity. I'm like, come on, man. See, you already lost credibility when this is what's on your resume for you sitting down there having this call. I can understand a Hall of Fame guy and things like that, because when you have these search committees, you do get former athletes that are part of these search committees that do know what is best for the university because they played there. So I never have a problem when they go get people that have played there and understand that. Now, the thing about it is, it's Ashley Robinson, my boy. I mean, let's be clear. Ashley Robinson, like I say, so we'll do the black thing first. He ain't no doubt he's the best AD in black folks' world. There's no doubt. And he's probably one of the top 5 FCS ADs in the total. So for Texas Southern to be able to pull over this, and I'm like, so, everybody, I've heard people done shows, oh, he's leaving for this, he's leaving for that. Man, none of that matters. Because sometimes you want a new challenge. Sometimes you get burned out of a place. Sometimes you say, you know what? I've done everything I've done here. Let me try another thing. So that's my thing. So I want to just show you guys, because this is what killed me. I thought FAMU was bad with the ADs. I want to show you guys this timeline. And shout out to Kyle Mosley, because this was crazy when I saw this. So Kyle Mosley, straight. Now, Rocky List, I want you to look at this now. See, this is where you do AI, you make sure everything is right. You got the right, let's see, you got the right logo, name spell. So that's how you do that. Okay. I want you to make sure that when you do your next AI, you make sure you got the right logo. But this, I'm gonna make this real big. This is the timeline. And he says, from athletic director from Karen Gray to Ashley Robinson. So this thing started way back April 2025. So athletic staff member alleged that Kevin Granger made inappropriate comments and engaged in physical and witness contact. Lawsuit filed. Granger placed on leave. President Crawford puts Paula Jackson as intern. We move on. They fired Granger in 2026 of this year. Number 10 gone from the rap. Man, they took the man, talking about retired jersey, took the man jersey down from the rap.
He too freaky. Too freaky.
Hey, listen. The firing goes public. TSU keeps Granger the Hall of Fame stat and player record the cake. So, hey, man, he said, listen, you put my jersey back up. So then we get down here. The coach of the board, Johnny Jones, resigns. Gone. Chapman steps in. Crawford names his name. Committee split back on one because they want Ashley Robinson. And then they put a dead stop. I think they put a dead stop because Ashley was like, listen, I'm going to hire my own guy. And then on the 19th, they're doing special session. So I'm just going to tell you guys, if this thing is televised, guess what? You're going to see it on the Off-Script Network. I'm telling you that right now. We showing it. And we're showing on Rockets Channel too. So what do you guys think about this timeline and how we've gotten here right now?
Well, actually, you could put the timeline go back further. Don't forget the Fred McNair debacle before this.
Well done, Zoe. That is the point. So I thought FAMU, with our board of trustees, was making moves in the Clown Hall of Fame. But I'm like, what? It's like, what are we doing? Now I understand you got to fire the guy, you know what I mean, because sexual harassment is very serious and stuff like that. But again, when you come, and I think there is some value to the question about hiring a guy this late. But I mean, he'll be fine. Like you say, Blue, he's not blocking time. But my thing is, this should have been done in the summer because you knew you needed an AD. That's my only thing. You knew you needed an AD. And what's the difference what you told Ashley today? Because you can't say it's the president because President Gregory, she was there. So you can't blame the president like Ashley, like we got a new president, I'm gone. I'm not gonna put that out there. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm not saying I didn't hear anything about that. But my thing is with this timeline and looking at it, what do you guys think about? And Rocky, we did a show looking at that board of trustees at Texas. Do you trust these guys to complete the task and get AD Robinson?
Oh yeah.
You believe it?
Well, like I said, I think AD Robinson. Okay, so here's the deal. I think AD Robinson is a no-brainer. And I think this is a situation where the street committee is completely out of line by them having their guy and going to the media with their guy to try to influence the board. This is actually the alumni attempting to bully the board, who already has a qualified candidate committed to the job. What are you doing? You're undermining your own school. You have the best AD in FCS football and FCS sports who wants to come to and work for your institution, and you bring up some guy and the best thing on his resume is he's from TSU.
Man, they said that man worked for 5 NFL teams. Don't dismiss that. Now, hold on. He was senior vice president.
Okay, but my point is, had he worked for those 5 NFL teams, it still would not make him a better AD, a better AD prospect than Ashley Robinson. Like that's the reality. Like, okay, let me ask you this. If he's not a Texas Southern alumni, is he even in this conversation?
No.
Now, see, okay, I'm gonna play the Texas Southern people, right? We got a guy, and that's the reason why we're looking at him, because he knows what. And the great words of Coach Cole. What did Coach Cole say? He know where the bathroom at, Rocky. He knows what the bathroom. He knows how to go raise money. He knows how to talk to our alumni base.
So Steve,
he knows how to go get it.
So it's funny you mentioned that because I watched the interview too, and that interview would hold more weight, right, if Ashley wasn't in the state of Texas before he came to Jackson State. So he's coming to a state that he's worked in. He was at Prairie View, which still I would consider to be Metro Houston, or right outside of Metro Houston. So he has contacts. He has
where Ashley built the state-of-the-art FCS facility.
He has He has family there. He has ties to Metro Houston. So he's not coming in like a brand new AD to a new area to learn the landscape. So they're on no example that you can give. This guy doesn't have a leg to stand on. I don't care what metric you use in comparison to Ashley Robinson. Like, I don't care. You could look, Ashley could have gone to Millsaps for all we care and never even been in the AD in Jackson State. Seriously, he's still, with his resume, it's a whole different stratosphere from this guy Wiley. Like, and they actually look really, really, really bad with this gung-ho thing to do before this vote on Wednesday. It looks really bad. It looks like it's going to cause some type of dissension amongst the alumni by even going this route and doing this. Because honestly, man, it'd be different. And I mean this what I'm about to say. It would be different if you was bringing somebody in like a Maverick Carter or somebody who has some upper echelon ties to Fortune 500 companies or something, because that's the angle that you're going to go with regards to bringing in like this great amount of revenue with this streamlined plan to enhance Texas Southern. But if your great calling card is only he's a TSU man and he's from Houston, if that's what you're laying your hat on, man, I don't think Ashley's going to have much success there, because he got to deal with that kind of incompetence on a day-to-day level.
Let me ask you this, Steve. You've been around HBCUs a long time. Is there a Houston mafia in the same way that there is a Tallahassee mafia?
It's a mafia at every school. It is, and trust me, and Zoe knows this. It's the old heads of Jackson State. It's the Tallahassee mafia. It's the Baton Rouge crew. I mean, I could go on the Grambling gang. I mean, they all got names all over the place. And man, listen, the one thing about it, and mind you, see, this is the thing about commonality. They know this guy. They brought him drunk. Looking with this guy, he been at the homecoming. He probably apparently in a fraternity, might be somebody's fraternity brother. All these different things that unfortunately, and again, let's not act like this doesn't happen at Power 5 schools, because it does. They hook up their boys all the time too. But the thing that bothers me is this right here is a no. First of all, let's talk about this for a second, because this is going to tie into my next thing. We're talking about Texas Southern and football and their AD. Texas Southern. Do you understand? Just because Ashley Robinson's going to take, people are going to be talking about every week about Texas Southern, good, bad, or indifferent, that they got Ashley Robinson, the best AD, and what he could do in Houston. That alone is worth $1 million. That alone. We wouldn't be talking about Texas Southern if there was another AD. Hell, we got a whole timeline. And like Zoe said, we totally forgot about McNair. Totally forgot about it. So for Texas Southern, for the alums not to say, because man, listen, Rocky, you know, I've been in these fights with the ADs, okay?
Can't get right, man.
Yeah, I've been in these fights. But see, the difference is with our fight, we had people that weren't qualified to be the AD and became the AD. Ain't nobody saying Ashley Robinson's not qualified. Point blank, period. So there shouldn't even be an argument there. And that's the reason why I give the president credit. He's like, listen, we ain't about to do none of this. Well, maybe, you know what? I don't know what they did, so I don't want to quote that. I didn't hear that they did some national search, for AD. Now, maybe if Texas Southern people, y'all did a national search, please let me know, because I will find out who else applied for the job, because we can pull that. But I believe he was like, Ashley, here's an opportunity. We're going to pay you $350. And like Zoe said, we got extra money that you're going to get. Boy might get up to $450. And it's time. I don't think it's any problem. But I want to shift gears. Because if that means Ashley Robinson is leaving, that means Jackson State might need an AD. Now, so I'm going to say this again. Me and Zoe from Jackson. So this ain't word on the street. This is going to be word on Bailey Avenue. Down there in that corner zone where they were shooting that dice. You know what I'm talking about, the point shoot that dice. So listen, man, I got a phone call, and I will pull this up because I got to throw him under the bus because he's my boy. But this was kind of some slander right here. And this is going to tie in to what I'm about to bring up. Shout out to MEAC Mike. But MEAC Mike made this post right here. And I wanted to pull this up. And MEAC Mike, I know you stand on your business, so I know you don't mind me pulling this up. Whether JSU is a HBCU blue blood is up for debate, but it's definitely not a destination any sane, ambitious person wants to be. JSU is like a big HBCU coaching and AD temp agency. Decent pay, but you've always searching for something permanent and better. JSU is temp agency. You, my boy. Now, me and Mike, let me just tell you something. Mr. Campbell knows some folks. And I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of people applying for this temp job that done reached out. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I'm just going to say something. So, and so you know me. If I say it, you better believe it. Word on Baylor Avenue is that this is an AD down to Alabama A&M. Ain't got no problem taking this job. Ain't got no problem taking this job. Word on the street is Jack State president might know him really well. Really well. Friends. Second of all, though, and this is going to make people mad. They're not going to believe this, though. Southern Baton Rouge AD knows President Gregory, too. Heard that phone call been made to Robin Banks. Zoe, word on the street, Baylor Avenue. What you got to say about that?
First off, me and Mike, your trolling sucks ass, by the way. Let me just start off there. That's a horrible troll job. But like I stated, there ain't an HBCU AD that wouldn't take Ashley Alpha. And then to try to talk about a blue blood as if like Jack State is Alabama. And what to compare FCS HBCUs to Power 4 schools and saying, oh, that's like saying, oh, nobody from Alabama will go to Fresno State. I mean, no shit. Like literally no shit. But here's the thing. Yes, if you sit here and think the Jack State job being open ain't attractive, I got beachfront property in Tennessee for you. I can assure you that. Me and Mike, I bet you if Jack State wanted your sorry ass AD, I bet you he'll come. I bet you he'll come. I'm willing to bet you, outside of Ash, because he just left, pretty much every AD in the HBCU landscape will come to Jack State. You want to know why? Not just because Jack State, because of the job that the AD who's leaving did and left it in. So at the end of the day, man, it's an attractive job. Plenty of people gonna want it, and Steve ain't just pulling some shit out of thin air.
You better tell him.
Steve ain't pulling stuff out of thin air. Yes, indeed. You know what I'm saying? And look, Dr. Paul Bryant was doing an amazing job doing a real good job over there at Alabama A&M. It's out there. You know what I'm saying? Now, I ain't finna speak to, Southern Roman Banks. I care less.
Well, I'm gonna say one thing, but hold on, I gotta get this joke out before I let Rocky and Blue get in here. But let's just, and shout out to AD Bryant.
I know where you're going.
Listen, I'm just saying that AD Bryant, hey man, listen, I know I'm from Jackson. I know people. I keep telling people I know folks. Man, I don't know why people don't understand. I'm 56 years old. Don't nothing happen in these swag streets that I don't know. But guess what?
Hey, if AD Bryant come to Jackson, there's a man with a basketball team.
Hold on, let me finish. You know what's gonna happen. He's bringing Scotty with him. 100%.
You already knew you were gonna say that.
And Scotty's gonna move out there in Madison County. He gonna have a J hat on. He's gonna go. Hey, so what's the name of the building? The administration building over there, Jack State. What's the name of the building?
Man, I can't remember. The damn tower. Shit, the damn tower.
Yeah, the tower. Scotty gonna have an office in the tower. He gonna walk across the plaza.
Scotty gonna have an office over in the AAC.
AAC. Okay, AAC. Right. You're right. He's gonna have over the AAC. And guess what he's gonna get to do? He's gonna get
Look, I'm gonna be his tour guy. I'm gonna have to go show him the key around different subdivisions out here in good old Madison County. Show him I can go give him a career back.
No. Let's stick on the campus. He's gonna walk around on campus with a J hat on. And can you believe? Hey, listen, he gonna take over Uncle Neely's job. He gonna be the new Uncle Neely. Can't you see? Right? Can you? Hey man, listen. AD Bryant, listen. If there is any justice in the world, give that man a job just for the utter hell that is going to break loose on a mass meeting. It's gonna be 8,000 people on that mass meeting. I'm telling you right now. And I'm telling you this, AD Bryant. bro, listen, if you bring Scotty with you, we literally gonna have a show, a marathon of all the things that Jackson State people are gonna say and do for at least 48 hours. Blue, AD Bryant, Roman Banks.
Hey, if Scotty come back, if Scotty go to Jackson, they gonna have to open the arena back up.
Blue, what do you think about these names I just floated out?
No, I mean, I think Dr. Brian would be a great hire. I like what he's done at A&M. I'm not a huge fan of Roman Banks personally, so I think that would. You want to talk about a downgrade there? Whew. That would be a tough sell for me. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think that would be a real tough sell.
You know, Zoe.
Hold on, Rocky. I don't want you to ask questions. I want you to answer the question. Let's start there first.
So I don't think either one of those guys makes sense to me at Jackson. I think Jackson should probably go in-house for their AD because of all the success they've had recently. There has to be someone in-house that can man the ship.
So you think so? What's the guy? He came from Valley. He's
Hakeem.
assistant AD right now, right?
Oh yeah,
Hakeem.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's your pick, Rocky. That's what you say, right?
Yeah. I think that's what makes sense to me.
I just think Jackson's too good of a job and too big of a brand to just say we're gonna hire the guy that's in house. Like he can apply and we'll consider him. You got to see who else is gonna apply. You got to open this thing up nationally for Jackson.
Well, that's what I want to say because I want to pull up Mike's, and this is the thing. Mike, you know I love you, I respect you, but listen, this is what's crazy about your quote. And again, you put it out there. Hey man, listen, I understand when you type something, people get upset. But the thing about it is, bro, do you understand? Okay, let's talk about the Jack State brand for a second. So let's just say AD. Let's not even worry about who the AD is. But you're talking about a brand that's got a championship coach already in play. People ready to support. And if it's the right guy, you can build your resume off of Jackson State alone. Now, you can sit back and say that they're not a blue blood, they're delusional. But I tell you one thing, if you're an AD and you can look, and let's talk about the schools. What is it? 6 in the MEAC, 12 in the SWAC, Texas Southern, all that. You're going to tell me that Jackson State's AD job? Now, I don't know about the pay because it's Mississippi. But I'm talking about just brand and what it could be. You're not going to tell me that Jackson State not one of the top 5 AD jobs. You're not going to tell me that.
I think the money puts a limitation on who you get.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
I don't think the cost of living in Jackson is that like you act like he's moving to New York making that money.
No, but I'm saying what the guys make now, like a guy at FAMU, we know that guy makes at least $250. Why would he go and get $288 in Jackson?
Well,
the guy at Southern makes
no, hold on. You can't say FAMU. Let's say
the guy at Southern makes $3+.
No, but hold on. Jackson State's just not limited to what that amount is. There's a reason for that. But Jackson State can pay more.
Why aren't they paying their AD more?
There's reason for that, but they can pay more.
And who's to say they didn't offer him more and then he still wanted to take the Texas Southern job? Because like there's other factors that are making Texas Southern a better job outside of that people aren't talking about, like families. Like there's other things that attract him to move into Houston.
No, I'm talking about the Jackson job. Like Ashley's getting paid $288, and I know off the top of my head, I don't know what Alabama A&M is getting. The guy at Alabama A&M is getting paid, but he's got to be getting paid something close to that.
But wait a minute. But what he's getting? Hold on. Listen to what Zoe said. Just because what Ashley got paid does not mean they have a new president. Okay. And one thing I can say, I know about new presidents really well. It's amazing how they can find money. It blows my mind that there's never any money until a new president comes in. And one thing about it, shout out to Dr. Gregory, if she wants, see, man, this is the two things that always.
Why would you pay anybody more than Ashley?
No, but the point, no, you're looking at Ashley. Let's just say Ashley decided to move on. Okay, let's just stick to that.
Steve,
hold on. See, I can answer that. So maybe there's a thing that for a decision what Ashley made. So if you recall when Ashley got there, do you know how much Deion Sanders was making?
400, right? Maybe.
He made 300,000 his first year. You know what he made his second year?
No.
1.2 million. You heard what I said. You heard what I said. 1.2 million the second year. Do you know what Tamika Reed made?
No.
300,000. You know what Mo Williams made? 300,000.
What they got to do with Ashley's salary?
Because that was due to Ashley Robinson and what he made. You have how you siphon money to your coaches. So again, Jackson has the ability to pay more. It's the way Ashley Robinson said everything and did everything for his coaches.
So when Prairie View made a run at him a couple of years ago, they didn't appreciate his contract at all?
Yeah, he made more money while he was there. He didn't start at 288.
I think it's not about what he's I don't think it's about what he's making. It's always about, and I'm gonna say this again, because you're gonna have people, and let me, because KJ did okay, shut up my niece KJ, man, because she is awesome. But she said about some names. I thought I saw something she pointed in here that she said something about the names. But here's the problem. It's just like with FAMU, right? TJ applied for the job at FAMU football. So it's not about who applies, because this is a job that great people are going to apply. It always comes down to, what does the president want to do? Because presidents often hire people that they're comfortable with. I'm not saying that's not the best person either, but I'm telling you, I have seen this up close and personal. And what happens is the best person a lot of times do not get the job. It's who the president feels they can work with the best, who they're most comfortable with, and that's who they hire. And then people get all upset. I have seen it happen with FAMU 50 million times, where people look at their resume. And I'm gonna say this again: Tremaine Jackson interviewed for the FAMU job
in 24. Though let's put that in there, because we don't want to start any in 24.
Yeah, everybody knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, back when the job was open, when Willie was leaving, he applied. Tiffany Dawn Sykes wanted Gibbs, Coach Gibbs. That's
y'all missed one there. Y'all missed one.
So guess what? Then that came out. TJ never really got interviewed, and then we ended up what we ended with.
Hey,
so with that being said, let me do a quick reset, man. Sipping on Sundays on a Monday, off script channel, Rocky Miller channel. Got my man Rocky, HBC Coach's Corner, my business partner and partner on Sipping on Sunday, Zoe Phillips, my nephew Zach McKillop, and guess what? My favorite nephew, one of my favorite nephews, Perry White, in the building after doing his refereeing and stuff like that. Perry, appreciate you being on. You know what? I know it's not outspoken, but we need you to be outspoken right now. Jump right in. What do you think about the names I just dropped, Perry?
I don't know what the hell y'all talking about. I just got on.
Roman Banks is on his way to Jackson State to be their next AD.
Who?
Roman Banks.
Hell no. Who told y'all that?
Exactly.
Okay, Perry, let's reset it. Okay, so Perry,
you just said you want to be outspoken. Hell no, I ain't heard that. Who said
that? Hold on, Perry. Let me back up. I want to ask you a question. We started a conversation about Ashley Robinson leaving, potentially go to Texas Southern. First of all, let me ask you about that. What do you think about Ashley Robinson going to Texas Southern, and what would it mean for Texas Southern?
I love it. Shoot, you want the honesty from me?
I want the honesty from you. No personal.
Right. Where was he at before Jackson State?
Prairie View.
All right. What did he do for Prairie View before he left there?
Got him to SWAC championship game.
Facilities.
And facilities.
Bingo. Right now, with this $1.7 billion rollout plan Texas Southern has put out there, what are they trying to build?
Facilities.
New stadium. Facilities.
Just keep it simple. We're rocking facilities, right? All right. Texas Southern, let me tell y'all, it is a diamond in the rough. Texas Southern, to me, being in the 4th largest city in America. Texas Southern being in the 5th largest television market. Texas Southern being in the 6th largest radio market in the country. In a city in which you damn near don't even have to leave to recruit any sport, right? On top of, if Texas Southern can ever open itself up to get Houston to come out and be a part. One thing I've always believed Texas Southern has never done is done a great job of giving the HBCU experiences to the Black people of Houston, Texas. And I think the best way you do it, you see it across the SWAC. It doesn't work in basketball, even though they have been quote unquote good at basketball. It works in football. One of the biggest issues for me that has hurt Texas Southern from giving that experience is not truly having a home on campus to give people that true experience. For years, they bounced around with Reliance Stadium, high school stadiums. Then they play some games on that campus. It's bouncing around. They never gave it a true home. Texas Southern, considering who they are and what they are, they have to be able to then place themselves. Think about this in Houston. First of all, Jackson, Mississippi is just a tough sell. Zoe, Mr. Campbell, y'all just said y'all from Jackson. I've driven around Jackson Valley Street and taken that turn and went down through them damn blocks and was like, holy shit, where am I? All right? That's just the honesty of it. It is a tough sell. You know, the forward thinking that Ashley Robinson has been at Jackson State to get them on track to win championships. Houston, Texas is a greater sale, especially when you want to make quote unquote celebrity superstar hires. Houston is a great sale on top of the amount of businesses, corporations, and everything else that you can get to then be a part of it. And you know, if it was me, the best sell Houston, Texas Southern's tailgate as a day party. In Houston, the day party capital of the world.
Big time.
Big time. Sell it. Our tailgate would be one big day party. Hookahs, bottomless mimosas. I would bring the whole city out just to get a piece of what we're doing at Texas Southern. But all jokes aside, man, I think Ashley Robinson, in terms of who he is, I think that, for one, is a visionary thinker and believer of what Texas Southern can use. And I'll be honest, I'm not a big believer of a lot of ADs in the SWAC to think that they can go somewhere and be transformative, right? But Ashley Robinson has a track record going from Prairie View to Jackson State. He brought Prairie View and got them excited, right? Wasn't it Willie Simmons he brought in with the football team?
He did.
All right, then he got to Jackson and brought the swagger back to Jackson. Now Jackson fans, won't shut up. All I hear is about the damn Tigers, man. Every chance we get.
Get your head right now. Get your head right now.
Hey, my bad. Hey, look. Shit, that had been cocked since 2021.
It was cocked for the end, dog.
Well, I'm just saying with some pride now, you know. when you could talk shit, it was some years. Look, when I had them years of talking that Southern, whooping that ass, nobody could say, but now you got that, you'll cock that mug and say, hey, y'all ain't beat us since when? I just think, though, for Texas Southern, for what it's sitting on, if anybody can actually go in there with a plan and with a vision and can get that on-campus stadium and the facilities together, I mean, haven't they been knocking at the door of a Commissioner's Cup?
They have. They're good in other sports.
They are. They're like the Prairie View and the Bama States who've been right there knocking at the door. And I just think, in my opinion, all right, how long Ashley Robinson been at Jackson State? 8 years?
6.
6 years? When you see everybody, do y'all watch the stock market? I'm sure y'all watch, yeah. When you see that graph, it go up, at some point that graph plateau, and then at some point it go there. And then it does that for a while, then it comes back there. That was Jackson State before Ashley Robinson and Dion got there. It was this. Then it's back up. But how long can you go before you reach that point of it plateaus? And when it does plateau, fans start to believe, hey, maybe we maxed out here. It's great to get out while you on top and make a change and go somewhere else.
Hello.
Especially, I'm sure Texas Southern going to throw the bag at it.
$350,000 per year right at this base salary. We showed the contract earlier.
How much he making at Jackson?
$288 total with all benefits.
Texas Southern going to have to come on a little bit more than $350. What they Ashley
Robinson. He getting $400,000.
Where at Jackson?
Texas Southern.
They're gonna have to up that a little. You asking a man to perform. When was the last AD that y'all thought actually did a great job at Texas Southern? Don't nobody know?
Hey, wait. Let me ask you. Did
the fine great job?
AD at Texas Southern, right?
Hold on, Mr. Campbell. Who was the last AD that you thought did a great job at Texas Southern?
Define great job.
Had them relevant. Commissioner's Cup. Building. Had people buzzing. Talk. What great job is what Jackson State feel Ashley Robinson is doing right now.
I can't. That's why I said I can't say great job. The last relevant AD they had was McClellan.
And what year was that before McClellan did?
A long time ago.
That's all I'm saying, man. It's been a long time, and Texas Southern is a diamond in the rough. I haven't been excited about somebody who can polish a diamond in a long time, and I believe Ashley Robinson is the one with his visionary thinking and his big name brand that he likes to put out there. I think he can really turn Texas Southern into that. Now, that's just me. That's me. I don't know who else is in the ranking, but I mean in the running, but I don't get excited a lot of times about SWAC ADs moving to another school because I'm like, what did you really do where you was at to be that great to move on to somewhere else and think you finna ignite them to be that great? But Ashley just seems to have that, what they say, that secret sauce, that's something special about him. And I believe he got it. In Texas Southern, I'm telling you, with Houston, I told you all of these rankings in the market and what you can do. Basketball, man, you ever get the Rockets, then you bring in the Texas. Think about a big name hire at Texas Southern. Then in these days of these GMs, so that's just where I'm going with it. I think he'll be a great fit, and I think that's what Texas Southern needs to get that athletic department. You surrounded by Rice, what is it, Houston Christian, the University of Houston. Bring that HB. When y'all in Houston, when Deion and Jackson State came, so I know you went. Weren't you in Houston when Jackson State went when Deion was coaching?
Yeah.
Wasn't that great for your fans to have a good time in Houston, Texas?
We have a good time in Houston every time we go.
There's a lot of schools that would take that serious if they could ever get to Houston and have a good time. And on top of, if they can get there and play there with their fans, Houston becomes a great place to ultimately recruit from. So, I don't know. Y'all tell me. I'm rocking with it, though. I love it.
Blue, what do you think? First of all, let's
Blue,
go back.
think about the football.
Yeah, that's what I want. Blue, so again, as you said, Blue, the AD is not blocking and tackling, but he does have influence on hires. Let's just talk about the recruiting base of Houston. Not who's the coach, who will be the coach next year. But if you have, again, let's just say this, Chris Disman's coach, he gets the support that he's talked about that he needs from an AD, because now he's got a permanent AD that can fundraise. What do you think Texas Southern could be?
I mean, I think, one, if you're talking about championship level, I think they've replaced Dishman like we talked about earlier. And then think about all the candidates that you can get from an Ashley Robinson to come to Houston. I mean, Perry, you look at some of the candidates Southern interviewed, there's a few of those coaches that are in Texas right now looking for a head coaching spot. And you could promise them new facilities, all that. I personally think that he would get rid of Dishman and he'd bring in a high-profile hire. I don't think you bring in, like, when you say high-profile, people think Deion, but I think that he brings in a more proven coach that can take them to that next level.
I'll go get Trey Oliver.
See, stop. Okay. Let me tell you something. I don't know, and let me tell you something, Perry. Let me say this, and I don't know who I told. Rocky, did I say that in our chat? Was that the chat? Let me tell you something, Perry. What I said, and Trey Oliver is my guy, but it would not be a blink, because could you see that press conference between Trey Oliver and T-Jack, and Trey Oliver, who always want that swag smoke, and he is kind of, see, to me, Trey Oliver is kind of almost in the same situation with A.D. Robinson, right? He's been good for so long, and now I think he wants another challenge.
Oh, you want me to get real crazy?
Go ahead, please.
I still T-Jack can bring. I mean, he went to Texas Southern. Come on home, T-Jack. He liked Houston. He liked them cigar bars. He get a little bit closer than being at Prairie View. I bring T-Jack, say, bro, come on home. We need you.
Oh, boy.
I just get crazy, huh? Oh, boy, it's getting crazy, ain't it?
Listen, that flip.
Imagine this.
Go ahead.
If they hire Dooley,
oh,
like
man,
that would be an awesome hire right there.
Somebody mute Rocky. Hey, mute Rocky.
You just ruined the momentum right there with that.
Yeah, mute him. You remember around the horn when you say something crazy?
Right.
Rock, you get mute. Man,
that's minus like 4 points on your score.
No,
here.
that was a joke, guys. That was a joke. Okay, that was not serious. I'm sorry. I have to, hey, the Trey Oliver hire is a tremendous hire. I think Trey Oliver, T-Jack, and even considering bringing TC over to TSU would be.
TC not going no.
Okay,
no.
All right. I'm just saying. I feel the same way. I feel the same way about T-Jack going to TSU. I don't think he would go anywhere.
No.
So hold on, before you get started, I want to ask you a question. So, how important? Okay, but shout out to KJ because she made me think about this. How important? Because you do have TC Taylor there. He's got everything. But how important is the AD hire that AD is compatible with TC Taylor? Because we have seen situations where a new AD comes in, you've got a successful coach, and for whatever reason, the coach is like, this is not work. So how important do you think maybe some influence or input from TC Taylor say, hey, this is the type of guy I think we need that can also help the football team? What do you think?
Well, I know that he will actually have input on who the selection will be. Knowing Denise Gregory, knowing the president, and also who she's married to. So not only that, but saying there's some other ties into it as well. So TC will have a say so in this because of who he is, not just as the winning coach, but being the alum and him having the stature that he has within the university. His opinion, his voice weighs deep, so he'll have a say so in it. It'll be a good marriage because honestly, in doing so, it'll be another tie that bonds, keep TC here for the long haul.
Well, I think that's one of the things that and that's why, and this is what's tough, right? So you're a new president, you're not even a year in, you're a Jack State alum, you were a cheerleader. Like you said, your husband's a SWAC Hall of Famer. So you've been around athletics your whole life, as far as your adult life. And this hire for Dr. Gregory, again, you got a fan base that hey, listen, this is one of those ones. So let me ask you a question. How important is continuity? Is it because again, when you're talking about that, what Rocky's saying, I think that's Rocky's point that hey, we got a guy that's been here, he knows where the bathroom's at, or do you go and say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna shoot for the moon and go get a guy that maybe people don't know the name but has qualifications?
Now it'll be continuity just because of the president. Like I said, who she's tied to, and just even the movement right now with all things being at Jack State. If you look at all the people who are actually in leadership position and in control for the majority of the high-profile sports, they're all Jacksonians. So there's going to be a lot of that in tow with this decision.
So how soon do you think, based off well, again, he hasn't officially taken the job. He's still the AD. So let's say this. Do you think that you guys immediately have a search, or do you just have an intern and then you say, let's rack it up after the end of football season?
If I had to take a guess, I think we'll roll with the intern.
Who is that?
I have the slides. I would probably say Akeem.
Yeah, it'll probably be.
Talking about for Jackson State?
Yeah, for Jackson State.
Oh, you got Jackson State has a perfect guy in-house if Ashley decides to go. I mean, you got a guy with athletic director experience who went and did something at Mississippi Valley that knows Jackson State well. He's a Mississippi guy. You got somebody right there to steer the ship. I wouldn't leave out of that already regime that's there. Unless he jump ship and he go too.
Which is possible.
I mean, because Ashley Robinson gonna need all hands on deck. If that's, and we're just talking hypothetically, right? If you need that Southern job, but you're gonna need all hands on deck. That's a retirement job. And look, even more, y'all want to know how I really see it? If he takes that Texas Southern job and he turns that around and when he leaves and
commissioner
and have him on the right, headed on the right track, move over Charles McClellan.
Commissioner, I knew that's where you were going.
Well, let me finish my point, Rocky. God dog, don't steal my thunder. I'm building up something. But yeah, don't it just seem like it's only right to have Ashley Robinson then as the commissioner? Y'all too quiet up here for me.
No.
Say something.
No.
Hey, when I said something, I stole your thunder. My bad.
Well, the rest of them can talk. Come on now. Shoot, talk.
So Perry, you believe his end goal is being the commissioner. But here's my thing,
it just seems lined up. I mean,
All right. Well, here's my thing on that, because I heard this before. So a couple things got to happen. First of all, Charles McClellan is a year younger than me. Okay. So that means Charles McClellan, and to me, the only way Charles McClellan is if he gets one of those big jobs in NCAA that he's been working to get.
That could very well happen.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
Right now, what's his contract until like 2030 something?
Infinity.
Before you're all right, Infinity, right.
Now,
So
they renewed it to like 2030.
But I think he get points on the package though.
Didn't they renew it to like 2031, 2030?
I don't think he going nowhere until this SWAC TV thing materialized to what he believe he can be.
Yeah. Well, and we're going to talk about that. We're definitely going to talk about that.
Until 2030, 2031, that give Ashley Robinson, this going to be about an 8-year job at Texas Southern. This ain't going to be no snap of a finger overnight. It's going to take some time. That'll give the commissioner time to roll out into the sunset and to get one of them big jobs he's looking for in the NCAA.
So you saying, did you say 8 years?
It's going to take about 8 years at minimum. This is a work. I mean, I just asked y'all what was the last person that you thought had Texas Southern relevant, and y'all literally went back to when Charles McClellan was working there.
You're right. You can't answer that because that's too hard of a question. Because you really got to do some research. No, you're right. That's why everybody was like kind of stunned to think about, what is I'm looking for. You know what? Hold on. There you go.
Charles McClellan had been AD at Texas Southern for I think a year and a half when they won the SWAC championship under Coach Cole.
Hey, hold that thought.
And so I don't count no more. They took all that off the records.
No, you can't take it off they can't take it off the field though.
I got a question for y'all. Let me turn around real quick because I want to address something with me and Mike. So basically, Jack State's not paying enough money. So I want y'all to name me all the MEAC schools, right? This is the MEAC 6 schools. So it's safe to say that all the MEAC schools are paying way more than Jack State's AD job, right? Go ahead and give me an answer in the chat. All the ADs in the MEAC jobs are paying more than Jack State. I'm certain of it, right? Do you know that there is only 2 schools in the MEAC all time that's above 500 for their entire history? 2.
Why are you messing with MEAC, Mike, man?
Hold on. You want to take a guess at who those are? South Carolina State, North Carolina Central. Morgan State, 446 wins, 453 losses. You're sitting at 49% for your entire history. But your AD making a shit ton of money for all them guys that under 500 ball for your whole entire career. You got an AD making all this money, but can't field no damn winning team. Norfolk State, they ain't got 400 wins in their history. 367 wins, 412 losses, 12 ties for a 47% winning history. I bet the AD make more money than Jackson State. Man, Howard, the great institution of Howard, 422 wins, 492 losses. They're going to reach the 500 barrier this year. 46%. Hold on, Perry. We got to get some straightening around here. And goddamn Delaware State, 381 wins, 492 losses, 11 ties, 43 damn percent. So I'm quite sure all them damn ADs make a shit more money than Jack State does. But goddamn, they can't win. So are those jobs more attractive because they pay more money? Because I mean, goddamn, let me come around yonder over here to Pole Raggedy, Jackson, Mississippi. Just give me 1 second, Steve. I need to flow one minute. I got it. Jack State, 526 wins, 344 losses for a 6% clip. God damn. Y'all might need to shut the hell up, dog.
Mike said that's not no blue blood, though. He said that's temp service.
Man, you ain't got no blood. You need a transfusion. Oh, that damn loose.
Hey, I want to show y'all something because hey, shout out. Hey, listen, Lon, I need you to come up because actually there's a next segment I want you to talk about because actually it's your segment.
Miss Kim, let me ask you something before you transition.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I'm not about to transition. I want to show something, but go ahead. No, go ahead.
That's the Texas Southern thing. Blue for you. FCS football for Texas Southern in Houston. If they could ever get it headed in the right ship, for you looking at Texas Southern in that Houston market, in a recruiting ground like Texas, how do you see that if they could ever have it headed in the right direction, what they could be right there in the heart of Houston?
Yeah, I mean, dude, like I like the word you said earlier, where they're a sleeping giant. I mean, at the end of the day, look at how quick T-Jack turned it around, man. Like all it takes is for the right hire to put it all together, man. And you look at all those programs in Texas, man, they're all successful right now. Lamar's winning, Stephen F. Austin's winning, Tarleton's winning, PV's winning, Abilene Christian is winning. Everyone's winning in the state. UTRGV winning already year one.
And won a national championship and moved up.
Yeah, and they're still winning. And so all these programs in Texas, from FCS to, and heck, even the D2 programs are winning. A lot of them in the state of Texas. And so
Lamar.
I mean, the fact that Lamar is good at football and Texas Southern still can't get off the ground is insane to me. Like I remember growing up, Lamar was horrible at football all the time. And now they're a playoff team. All it shows is that Texas Southern has to get the right people in there. And so I think Ashley Robinson's the first step. The next step, man, if they hire the right coach, Perry, they immediately could become top contenders, man. Because, again, someone said in the chat, you don't have to sell anyone to come to Houston. Yeah, it's not hard to convince a kid to come play in Houston. And I think you even talked about it, man, getting the on-campus atmosphere right for football is a big thing, man. No one wants to drive to this soccer stadium and go sit in the soccer stadium and watch games, man. Like, what makes all these game days special when we talk about going to Southern, going to Jackson, going to FAM, it's the tailgating on campus. It's the atmosphere that you get being on campus. Like, that's the thing that makes it different. You can't do that at Texas Southern. I think they're missing that.
And if you can bring that HBCU experience and the Jackson States of the world and the Southerns of the world and the Gremlins of the world come right there to the heart of Houston, Texas, on your campus. Come on, man. Oh, man. Can y'all see that? Can y'all
listen, but Barrett, listen, you gotta understand something. And this is why I'm agreeing with you. First of all, the Ocean Soul is one of the most underrated bands in the SWAC. Let's be honest. They've always been one of those bands. So you've got the band. You got their dance team, which is gorgeous. You got a great school, law school, all these different schools that they have. That far as getting a great, when we talked about this earlier, Perry, about getting a great education. All they need is to just add water. And Perry, you laughing, when you said that about the day party, bro, I would have tents all over that joint.
Hookahs,
couches, and I would turn that thing out. But listen, I wanted to share this, Perry, because you made me think about this. And somebody else said this in the chat. Let me ask y'all a question. What does this look like? Now, if this ain't a flex right here before you walk up out the door, this is what your boy Ashley Robinson, I think he posted this today. My man said, listen, just to let y'all know who I am. And I'm like, first of all, out of nowhere. That was like, Ashley, what you doing? You just want to hurt people. 32 conference championships, 2 national titles, 12-0 season, 43,000 people, 90% graduation rate. And then he hit them with this right here. The second part. With all the awards and honors that was under his tutelage. 19 awards and recognitions, 2-time Cushman Wakefield AD of the Year, inside HBC Lab, 2-time AD, 2 keys to the city. Now, like, I got a question. That 2 keys for Jackson, or that Jackson somewhere else? And then he
Jackson and Bolton.
And Bolton. All these awards, bruh. That is a flex right there. Just to let y'all know, don't get it twisted.
Hey man, can Wiley make a post like that?
No.
That CeeZo, there you go. This is when you let everybody know, if I want this job, I can get this job. If I want it. Perry, when you see somebody, now Perry, you in the media and stuff like that. Shout out to Perry on Saturday Morning Jaguar Journal. What do you think he's trying to say with this post?
That he's good at what he does. That he's great at what he does and put somebody else, it's like stats. Put somebody else's stats up against mine. Put the stats up against mine and see where you rank it. That's what he's saying. Put anybody's stats. Put Charles McClellan's stats when he was an athletic director up against mine. Put anybody over the past 10 years up against mine, is what he's saying. That's how I'm taking it. And he also saying, Jackson State, you got something to be proud of with me.
For sure.
And on top of that, it's a market out there for me, dog. When I bring something like that, I create a market for myself. That's called value. That's for what you're looking at is the resume. That resume should be able to get you where you want to go, when you want to go, anywhere, especially in the conference, in the SWAC. But that resume alone, considering, and listen, he ain't even stunned and put his Prairie View resume up, did he? He could have easily put on there just facility-wise what he did. Because wasn't it just a couple years ago, there was a story that was saying he may go back to Prairie View before golf got there?
Yeah. That was word on the street.
And Prairie View fans wanted him. It wasn't like, no, don't come back. They wanted him.
Oh, yeah.
But line away. I know he wanted him. It worked out for him. I like golf. I really do like golf. I like golf myself personally. But that's what, if you ask me what he's saying, he's putting his stats up there. You know what I'm saying? He's letting you know what I'm capable of doing. Not what I do. This is what I do. I'm Ashley Robinson. That means something when I walk in the room with my confidence and that swagger. And Texas Southern needs some swagger. It's been a long time since they had some confidence and swagger. Think, even with basketball has been as good as it's been over the decade, over however long basketball, it still has never been maximized the way it's supposed to be at Texas Southern. The swag just overlooks him like, it's Texas Southern, right? In both men and women's basketball, right? But it's kind of just been glossed over. Nobody truly maximizes it. It doesn't truly get the actual value that I believe it deserves. But that's just an AD telling you I'm capable of doing this. Who else can do it?
When I saw that, man, and I just think that just shows incredible what he's done as an AD. I think that's just what you want in an AD when you're able to flex like that, and the consistency, not just a flash in the pan, not just somebody that's just saying, you know what, I won a championship, and because you got a lot of ADs that still talk about one championship that they won, but just multiple championships, man, it's just incredible, man. Listen, one thing I want to do, and I'm trying to, hey Lionel, I'm about to send you, because I need you to come on this link, because I want to, because you did the interview. Lionel did a great interview with the commissioner, and I'm trying to find where Lionel, where you at.
Hey, they must have gave the commissioner a couple shots before they interviewed him, because they had him loose as a goose. You hear me?
Listen.
No, they had him comfortable. They made him comfortable.
Lionel, I'm putting in the chat. You over there on Rocket Channel. I had to find you where you at. I need you to come up, because listen, I'm gonna play this little clip. But to your point, you're talking about comfortable. And I saw it. I said, you know what? One of the things that I made sure, because great job to Coach Northern, Mr. Mickens and stuff like that. He talked about a lot of big things, that
including Lil Kiki. And what did he say? He messed up one of them. He said Lil Kiki, and it's supposed to be Big Pokey, and he said Lil Pokey.
But one of the things, and that's why I need, hey Lionel, check that. Like I said, I need you to come up. I want you to explain it, because I'm gonna play this clip that I saw, and Lionel, I want you to kind of get a backstory on this. That
Rocky,
one of the things
what you drinking, Rocky?
I can't tell you, man. Sleeping medicine. That's scissor.
He's sipping on Sundays. That's what he's doing. Let me pull all right, there we go. Because he said something that caught my eye. And Lionel, like I said, if you can come up, I really would appreciate it. But this is one of the things that was interesting. And he kind of just like made me say, wait a minute, what you talking about, Commissioner? And everything. And shout out to, like I say, PV versus Eric. Hold on, let me see. There you go. Hold on.
SWAC TV will evolve to close that gap between their CFP money and our overall money. It is the future. We're going to make a major announcement probably in the next week and a half on some additional things that are going to happen with SWAC TV that's going to put us in a whole different stratosphere. We're all in the same boat. SWAC TV will evolve to close that gap between their CFP money and our overall money. It is the future. We're going to make a major announcement probably in the next week and a half on some additional things that are going to happen with SWAC TV that's going to put us in a whole different stratosphere.
Now, when he said, and I want to make sure I understand this, he said going to close the gap with CFP money. Blue, I'm going to ask you this question because I'm old. Is he talking about FBS revenue sharing when he's saying CFP? Because I'm thinking that's college football playoff, right?
That's what he said.
He said, he said there's no difference in the budget and the revenue in the group of five, I believe, than the SWAC, other than the CFP money. He said that's the biggest difference in the revenue is the CFP money. And he said that they will be able to earn the difference through SWAC TV.
Listen, we had, what's so funny?
He said that the conference payouts.
Right.
He was talking about the conference payouts of the group of five. That's what he was talking about in that conversation.
Hey man, listen, okay, real quick, man. Shout out. Hey man, Sippin on Sundays on the
That's
Monday.
what I understood him to say. Lionel probably was more attentive than I was, but I understood he was talking about the conference payout.
Well, that's why we got lucky. That's why we got Lionel up here. He gonna tell us. Sippin on Sundays on a Monday, off script channel, Rocket Miller channel, man. Got all my brothers, nephews, but this is one of my favorite nephews right here. My PB nephew, Lionel. Hey, Lionel, appreciate you calling, man. Listen, I'm gonna say this again. I text Lionel. I said, man, congratulations on an outstanding interview. And I purposely made sure I did not comment on the chat because I know the commissioner watches the chat, and I know sometimes he get
me neither. I didn't comment either.
Oh, bro, I can't listen. I didn't want to mess nothing up because I'm not gonna say. I put it like this: he was getting interviewed one time, and I asked about the revenue, and that boy got crunk, boy. So I said, you know what, Lionel's my nephew. I'm proud of Lionel. Tell everybody, first of all, how you got him, how long it took you to get him, and give us a little bit of background of what he said, some of the highlights about the interview that you did with him.
No, for sure. Yeah, it was awesome having Dr. McClellan on. Obviously, Coach Northern obviously was a coach under McClellan, and so he's been able to facilitate a lot of the different interviews. We got some more on our way too as well, and so also met him at SWAC Media Day. Talked about that, having the opportunity at some point to do that. So really, I got to give a shout out, of course, to Coach Northern for being able to really spearhead that and have him come on the channel. And yeah, what he was talking about. So back in 2021, I think HBCU Sports did an article, and he explicitly was talking about how at that time he really had a vision for the whole SWAC to move up as a whole to FBS level at that time, right? And he talked about how he saw and envisioned that by 2030 we would be able to see the same type of distribution as FBS programs. Obviously, he wasn't super explicit in an interview about which one, but obviously, clearly, we're not talking about the top of the FBS. He's talking about G5 programs, et cetera. Recently, I saw information, some data that came out about Conference USA, the MAC, Sunbelt Conference, what their total revenue was, and also what they distributed to their individual schools. While their revenue was a little bit higher than what the SWAC revenue it was as a whole. I think they said $25.5 million and distributed 62% of that, right? When you looked at what they distributed, though, what some of these G5 conferences actually distributed back to their programs, the MAC, for example, right, was in that 1.5 to 2.5 million, right, in that range. Well, if you look at, again, obviously it may not be equal distribution because we didn't talk specifically about, what Jackson gets versus what Prairie View, et cetera. But as a whole, what the SWAC had distributed back, right? Well, we're right there in that ballpark and in that range. And so that's where the question was coming from was, one, did he believe we were there, right? And how do we kind of close that gap? And so he talked about, again, SWAC TV and some of the things they're doing there, actually closing that gap, because he said the difference between what we distribute now and what the lower tier G5 programs distribute now is what they get from the college football playoff money, right? If you take away what they get from the college football playoff, we're really right in the same boat as far as what we distribute even right now today. That's
what do we get? What do the schools get throughout the SWAC once they disperse the money? How much is it?
Well, I don't know the individual. Like I said, I don't know because we didn't talk about individual programs. But when before the number that came out, that 62% of the revenue is what they have distributed back to the schools in distribution money. That came out to 15.9 million total, right? So I don't know if that's equal distribution. I don't think it's equal distribution, right? But I'm just looking at the total bucket of money that the SWAC distributed back versus what I looked at the MAC, also the Sunbelt and the Conference USA, looked at what they distributed back, right? Like per school, right? Total number, looking at it more per school number. And it's right there, kind of very close to what those numbers are. So, you know, for an FCS program to even be in that stratosphere, you know, we're moving in that direction. And so that's kind of that's where the question came from.
But that's why I've always had questions, because it's like when we can go look at those conferences, and just like how you gave the numbers of what's being dispersed amongst the schools, it's like every time we ask that about the SWAC, when it comes to media rights and everything, and it's just an honest conversation, we never know the number. We still to this day, if I ask, you're gonna say, I don't really know, but I can see the numbers of what's. We still to this day in 2026 do not know the numbers. And if I'm lying, somebody correct me, because when I'm wrong, I love to hear what's right. But we do not know the numbers from ESPN. We don't know the numbers from HBCU Go. We don't know the numbers from SWAC TV, and not views watched, but I'm talking about money generated and then ultimately dispersed to all the schools. What are we truly bringing in? And I truly want to know what's our value when we look at that, because our value today may not be our value 5 years from now. Haven't we seen that's how college football, the landscape has changed? The Big Ten's value today, 20 years ago, it wasn't that value. Now with multiple national champions, now in the biggest media markets from LA all the way over to not LA, yeah,
LA, yes.
LA all the way over to damn near Jersey, New York, and everything in between, Chicago, and it's like, so what are we sitting in the markets that we are, and what are we bringing in by having our imaging, our name, image, and likeness on HBCU Go TV, on ESPN, as well as now SWAC TV? I hear the views watched in total hours, but what does that look like in value in return from my school?
Well, we've always been told, even now, every deal we have, we'll always be told what a whole sum of a number is, right? You know, for example, we've talked about minutes watched, right? We don't talk about hours. We'll talk about minutes watched. We always do things as a whole. Whenever we have any type of deal, remember, it's always been a total million amount for the conference. Or we'll talk about distribution. Because there was a time where, hey, we've distributed 20 million to our member institutions, but we never ever have gotten a breakdown what each member institution has gotten. There's nowhere on record. There's no data you can find anywhere. And this question has been asked. We always, and I can assure you, even till we have the next, we can go to SWAC Media Day next year, and we'll have a sum total of what we've garnered.
You should be able to find that out, Zoe, by looking at the school's income statement.
Say that
no,
too,
sir.
right?
I was saying, no, actually, you can't, because you think that you could do a public request record. Rock, we've been there, done that. You will not find that. You won't find it.
Not a public request, but if you look at the school's income statement, they would have income coming from the SWAC, the SWAC conference.
What I'm telling you, Rock, I tell you what, you won't find it. Go look.
It's not that simple.
Yeah,
like
it's not the first time we talked about this.
Yeah,
it's not the first time we talked about this.
How would it? So what I'm asking
hold on. Let me. I'm gonna tell you. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Even when we mention all the great things that we do, it'll always be the sum of something. It's never going to be broken down to each member institution.
Oh, okay.
Never
what you're saying. The category, it'll be an all-encompassing category of revenue.
But also the thing is, right, I also the SWAC, I mean, to me, from their position, right, they're selling the conference as a whole. They're not selling individually Mississippi Valley versus Jackson. They're not selling individually Prairie View versus Southern. So really, I would never expect for them to break down the individual numbers anyway, because I'm not trying to have my member institutions eat one another in the first place, right? I'm trying to sell everything as a whole in the first place. So I'm going to share it from a standpoint of the totality of the numbers anyway.
Well, here's the reason.
That makes more sense because I'm packaging everything together.
Well, here's the thing. You can actually do both, right? Let me give you an example, because I hate to do this, but for an example, because we're talking numbers, Big Ten and the SEC do it every year. For an example, and I'm not talking about because that's such a big number. I'm not even trying to equate that, but I want to use this as an example. We can say, yeah, transparency. We can say, hey, we brought in $120 million this year. Each member institution were able to garner about $30 million per institution. You see what I'm saying? But we never minimize or break it down to, and the reason why, in my opinion, why that doesn't happen, because I don't truly believe there's equal distribution to each member institution.
Yeah, I agree. That's the first thing I said, right? So again, so to me that sounds like I'm cannibalizing, I'm cannibalizing, right? One institution versus another. And if I'm representing everybody, it doesn't make sense for me to do that. You know what I'm saying? As from the conference office standpoint.
Because you have what the Celebration Bowl is.
You have to remember this year, the money that was paid to the schools was to pay actually the house settlement. That's what the SWAC had promised the schools, is that, I mean, that the SWAC conference would be able to subsidize their portion of the house settlement. So do you count that money as going to the schools, even though it's going to the NCAA?
For me, I'm staying in the focus of media, of the deals that's being created, because I want to know what my value is. I mean, HBCU football went from BET to NBC to ESPN to HBCU Go to now we having our own thing of SWAC TV. I want to know what our value has looked like over 3-4 decades, right?
So other than information,
career, what does our value, and is it the same now that it was 20 years ago? Do we? And
are you still letting the Bayou Classic have their own thing? Does the SWAC get any of that money off the Bayou Classic, even though it's a conference game?
But I'm asking in terms of the overall conference deals, right? The Bayou Classic and NBC ain't a conference deal, but I'm speaking in terms of right now focusing.
The game is a conference game, so it should be part of the conference deal.
Well, Rocky, pay attention to what I'm saying. The conference deals is when the commissioner speaks, because you're never going to hear the commissioner speak on behalf of NBC or what Grambling and Southern doing is business. You're going to hear the commissioner speak.
That's correct.
Say, I deal with ESPN and them streaming and what they bring to the table for us as partners. You're going to hear him talk about HBCU Go TV in terms of I deal with them and being a streaming partner. And now SWAC TV, even because he talked to Lionel about this, about the new partnership that they have with this marketing company, right? What is our value to all three of these entities, including the viewership that's watched across SWAC TV as a whole in terms of quote unquote hours, on top of what's our streaming value to ESPN and what is our streaming value to HBCU Go TV, who puts us in regional markets across the country? All right, that then gives me a better judgment of, in media, I can see where I was in 2021, and now in 2026, 5 years later, where is my value now? And I'm just watching the landscape of around us of everybody calculating their value. So I want to know, what is our value, and is it headed in the direction of up? I get there's eyes watching, but what do those eyes watching and those hours watch look like in terms of total value for every school today? Because if it's like Lionel said, if it's cannibalism, because the whole idea even of the Celebration Bowl, correct? Each conference gets a payout. Well, that payout of $1 million something look a lot greater if it's going to the MEAC with only 6 schools compared to the SWAC with 12 schools trying to slice up. Take a piece and try to feed 12 kids compared to feeding 5 kids and see who comes out better. But now when you add in media, what does that look like for all 12 of us? Am I making sense?
No, yeah, you're making sense, but I don't think and to my point, Perry, not all schools are making the same contribution to the actual media deals. Like there are carved out deals like the Bayou Classic, right? That is carved out. There has to be some concession that those schools make in the payout because they have their own little thing going on.
But here's the thing. You don't do it. You don't go into it when talking about any type of finances in that manner, Rocky. You're only as strong as your weakest link. For example, this season, I'm going to sit there and say, well, you know what? Nobody really watches Vanderbilt, so hey, we're going to give them less of the pie. It doesn't work that way.
My point, but you're not okay. What I'm saying is, whatever revenue comes in, right? Every school isn't making the same contribution toward that toward creating that generating that revenue.
Oh, well, let me fill you in on something about Charles McClellan then. If you don't know him, one thing he's going to make sure he lets you know, he values Mississippi Valley just as much as he values Grambling, Southern, and Jackson State. I can assure you that, buddy.
He should.
Yeah,
I can assure you that, buddy.
Because he's the SWAC. He's not the commissioner of just the Mississippi schools. He's not the
Exactly.
commissioner of just the Texas schools. He's the SWAC commissioner. Right? So to me, right, and again, I get us.
I'm talking about the media revenue. I'm not talking about the home gate. I'm talking about the media revenue when I'm talking about.
Right, I get that. What I'm
saying
thing
applies, dog. I'm telling you. If you talk to him, go ahead, Lionel.
Let Lionel talk.
My question is just for because I get wanting to really know the details, right? For sure, right? You know what I'm saying? I got a million questions. what I really do. You know what I'm saying? But it's one thing if the SWAC doesn't know the valuation of where they were in 21 to 26. But is it different if I don't particularly know where they are valuation wise from 21 to 26? I mean, in my position right now, how would I add value to the SWAC by me knowing this information, right? You get what I'm saying? So even though, yes, I would love to know this information, I would love to have it. I would love to get a different breakdown of what those numbers look like. But to me, it's one thing if the company themselves don't have an understanding. I believe they do have an understanding of what their valuation is. But what is it? What's the benefit of having all the conversation of, like everybody say in the comments, of really going down and delineating every single thing of what you believe your value is, right? And how much you believe you should be getting from every institution and putting that all on wax, right? Versus giving out pieces of that information that you believe will be beneficial and continue to move the conference forward. To me, what's the benefit versus the pros versus the cons in that?
I think the pros versus the cons is there has to be some computation in the way the money is paid out, and it has to be fair to all the institutions, right? How do you know if the payouts are fair if there's not a pay plan that is transparent? Like if the pay plan isn't transparent, how do you know that each school is getting their value? That's my point.
And
it's not about
they're not hidden from the schools, though. That's what we're missing in the conversation.
The
schools know
there's
what everyone's getting paid. Like it doesn't matter if, like, as much as we want to know, why does, like, I'm not going to negotiate for Valley. Like, I have no basis to be like, yeah, they're getting a fair or unfair payment. The commissioner only works with the hands of the presidents. He can't do anything without the presidents and ADs like signing off on him. So like he can't be like, well, Valley, man, you only had this many watch hours on SWAC TV, so we're only going to send you a check for this much. That's not how it works. Like the commissioners and the ADs all voted on what everyone gets paid. And then, like, to add more context to the quote that started this conversation, he said it's going to close the gap between the CFP revenue for the G6 conferences. Every single G6, roughly G6 conferences get about 9% of the college football playoff revenue. Last year, that broke down to roughly $1.8 million per school annually, which means whatever deal he's coming is going, like he says he's coming down the pipeline, it better be $15 million if all 12 schools are going to be making about $2 million.
Well, let me say one thing. Well, hold on, so I want to ask something. Listen, because this is what happened to me. So when he was at SWAC Media Day, because remember the original deal was we heard that we were getting $1.2 million for each school, $12 million or something like that per year and everything. So
it's a 10-year, $120 million.
So there you go. So each school was going to get what, $1.2 million a year, right? That's what I think.
$1 million a year.
$1 million a year. $1 million a year. So when he was at SWAC Media Day a couple of years ago, I asked him, and he literally said, "Listen, we don't discuss our contracts." And I mean, he put the hammer on me. He didn't even blink when he did it. And that's why I think he got. But the thing about it is, I think it's two sides to it, because the discussion was, to Perry's point, is that people want to make sure, and I think this is what his point of it. You don't even know what our value is, so don't tell me what the value is. I think that's his behind the scenes argument. But no, I'm being honest. But I think there is something to when you look at, because don't tell me that the SEC didn't look at the Big Ten and they didn't go back like, hey, next contract, we need to close this gap. We need to. So that's where that comes in at from the fan base and things like that. But I think with Dr. McClellan, I think he's one of those people. I don't think he likes chatter. I think that's not his thing. I think that's why he does it. And I'm not mad at that. Some people are, you know what, let's keep the lights on and the people that need to know the business knows the business.
Well, if that's the case, then shut the hell up talking about minutes on Swag TV.
Well,
I'm just saying if that's the see the thing about it is like I can understand the stance about we don't do this. That's fine. They don't say nothing. I mean, because if you go, don't give.
But see, I think that goes back to the PR part, right?
So hold on, don't give pseudo transparency. Then that's just bullshit conversation.
It's not.
I'm just keeping it real.
I don't think. I'm gonna disagree with transparency because you don't get the information you want from me. That transparency is not necessarily. I'm not getting what I want you to give me. That doesn't mean transparency.
I'm not looking at. I'm not looking at like I'm trying to get what I want.
I think we're. So this is what I want to step in and say. I think when you're saying transparency and you want it to be, you can't be transparent if I can't see everything.
Well, I would say this. It's because he is explaining to us clearly SWAC TV has value. And yes. I want to go back to the SWAC TV because they're going to unveil something of breaking news to say we're taking SWAC TV to another level. I heard him in Lionel's interview with Coach Northern and Lionel. He said when they first unveiled it, he wanted to fire everybody because it was not up to his standard. And then once they got it rolling, he began to say there's a certain standard he wanted SWAC TV. And once it got to a point of these games and events being streamed, they came with amount of hours and minutes of viewers that then tuned in. What is that value of those hours and those minutes ultimately to the SWAC? Because remember, we're giving that away for free too, which was why issues like a school like Southern had a problem because Southern put its games behind a paywall on Jaguar Sports Network. Whatever the revenue was, I don't know if it was a lot or a little, but Southern was happy to at least have that revenue behind a paywall of putting its games and having its fans and whoever else had interest to then tune in. There was a value clearly Southern saw there, speaking on behalf of just that school, that they put it behind a paywall. Now they having to give it away, and they're giving it away to the SWAC. Okay, what does that value look like if it's all 12 schools giving away everything for SWAC TV? We got to have a value to it to then know what can we do to leverage ourselves to move forward. Because if there's a value there moving forward, would it be beneficial for me to maybe just stream my SWAC championship game on SWAC TV and maybe I can sell more advertisement or do whatever else than it would be for me to give it to ESPN? I'm just saying this is how we begin to then structure to see where do we stand on these different levels, you know? Because a lot of those games that we give in the HBCU Go, it may be UAPB versus Alabama A&M. Okay, in that aspect, would it be more beneficial to keep that game on SWAC TV in terms of a value than it would be to give that game?
Now you talking about what I'm talking about, because when you talk about, and I just use the Bayou Classic for this because it's an easy target.
But you cannot use Bayou Classic, Rocky, because Bayou Classic within itself is not. These deals that I'm speaking are conference wide. NBC, no other school in the SWAC plays on NBC. That is a deal between
that's what and Perry, what I'm saying is it's a carve-out game. It's a carve-out game for Southern and Grambling, right?
Go back, save the carve-out, and go back to what's for all 12. Let's stick to all 12. We can get to that carve-out when we first understand what's for all 12.
But you can't. You don't have to isolate the Bayou Classic though. Like Rocky, what I'm saying, Rocky, no, Perry's actually right. You don't, because that's not the only game that's carved out. You have other.
So that's what I'm trying to understand. Is there carve-outs?
You have other games that are carved out. Those games or whatever deal that they have, it has no bearing on what the conference does as a whole for the totality of all member institutions.
According to the media rights deal based at the SWAC, is that the SWAC has the right to negotiate on the school's behalf their media rights. That's what the contract says.
They do.
Yeah, except for that game. Like that game.
That's what I keep trying to tell you, Rocky. That game,
like nothing else changes.
On that one game, But focus on the other 3 that we're talking about that's benefiting everybody. The other 3 is ESPN, HBCU Go, and Swag TV. Once again, I need to know my value because it may be more beneficial for me moving in the future 5 years from now if I see the trajectory go up, where my game may be more beneficial for a Swag Championship to put it on Swag TV than it would be for me to get it on ESPN.
I don't know why this guy says this. It has nothing to do with Swag revenue. It absolutely does.
Rocky, just stay away from the value class.
No, the value class is disconnected. That's what he's trying to say. It don't go.
It has nothing.
Into the Swag TV revenue.
It has nothing to do with it, right?
That's a one-time, one game, 1 weekend.
It's
but
disconnected.
It has
It don't have nothing to do with it.
No. You guys are missing my point. But go ahead.
No, we got you.
No, like if you were going to criticize something, the one thing I will say is I think that this might be the first ever commissioner to break it down into minutes. I've never heard like TV people be like this many minutes watched. It's like sporting events are played in hours. And so maybe we should release the amount of hours watched instead of minutes. Like they just did minutes to make it look better. And then the other thing was I've never heard a commissioner not promote the amount of viewers, unique viewers. That's more important than, hey, we have 1 viewer, guys, but he watches 55 million minutes of our content.
Because Blue, here's my point. See, the whole reason why you have a state of the address is because I'm trying to be transparent because I'm trying to sell something. Because bear in mind, I have a base. You know who the base is? It's not the member institutions. It's the fans of those institutions because those are the customers. So the thing is, when you're trying to shop and sell a product, I need my customers to be engaged because not only am I going to my customers, I'm also going to my potential customers. And so my thing is, we have to be transparent in what that is. We have to be transparent with our wins. Now, you may want to minimize our losses, or I can see you saying, hey, we're not going to talk about our losses in public. But you know what? But basically, that's his way of doing it because I can't highlight ours. Let me highlight these minutes. That's my form of pseudo transparency. So my thing is, if you can sit there and say, man, we pay each member institution $12 million this season, I guarantee you if he was doing it, that would be a thing to highlight because that's one of the things that you can champion with the fans and probably engage even more fans. We cannot sit there and say all the good things that we have, we're not going to talk about it or minimize it. You have to be transparent.
Because think about this, though. The media rights of SEC Network. Texas had the Longhorn Network on their own. That was a bankroll. They gave that up just to get into the SEC. SEC media rights. So that's my thing. I want to know our true nature of our value. So when we move forward, what does that look like for us? And then how do we leverage that for ourselves? And then I need a ranking. What works best for us?
Who is us, though?
Who is us, because of the name? Do we like HBCU Go? Why? Because it just says HBCU before it says Go TV. And then when it comes to Swag TV, what is that true nature of the value? What are we getting back from Swag TV? Out in year 1, I would have liked to know what was the overall. How do you even generate revenue if you're giving it away for free?
The one thing the point I was bringing up is this: how many games does each school have to commit to the media rights deal?
Well, no, Ferb, it's not about no, that's not how that works, bro.
How many games?
Now listen, look, Rocky, it's not a commitment. Like Perry said, the conference owns all the games, okay, except for the Bayou Classic. They sell all the games as a package. So again, the first package and right of first refusal, ESPN. They can say we want this, and this game. The next one is HBCU Go. Then they pick those games, and then the rest of the games go on Swag TV. That's how it works. So it's not that Jack State said you can only get 2 of our games, and FAMU say you can only get 3 of our games. That's not how that works.
It's all the conference games, Rocky, and then all the home non-conference games they own. So like if PV was hosting Tarleton, the SWAC would own that game. But because it's at Tarleton could do whatever it wants with that game.
Correct.
Like the SWAC and PV have no say. That's why when Central host A&T, the MEAC and Central deal with what TV networks that on. When they play at A&T, guess what? That bad boy's going on Flow Sports, and there ain't nothing
you ain't gonna see
Central and the MEAC can do about it. The home team the home team's conference controls that game, and that's how the games are decided on who gets to control. And then of course it's all the SWAC interconference games. You know, the Jacksons and the Southerns and so on and so forth.
And what makes this situation unique for the SWAC is because, unlike everybody else, our classics, Florida Classic, Magic City Classic,
State Fair Classic,
the Southern Heritage Classic, HBCU picks that up, right? I think the State Fair last year was his first time being on.
Well, yeah, because he tried to do everything possible not to ever show that game.
So I think this is a better analogy for you. The SWAC owns every game, right? But basically, they own every game except the Bayou Classic. Every other game, you can look at it. Don't say media deal no more. Just say distribution deal. I got a distribution deal with HBCU Go. I give them a set number of games. I got a distribution deal with ESPN, and I got a distribution deal over here. And I just let them distribute my game. All of them, I own every game for every team except this one game with Southern and Grambling. Everything else I own, I just choose to distribute it among 3 different companies. That's it.
And then look at the markets we in. Once again, why I keep talking about Texas Southern, which we was talking about with Ashley Robinson potential. That is the 5th largest television market in the country and the 6th largest radio market. Do you know what that does just for your conference to just pump out shit just constantly in that market? On top of we're in Atlanta. Atlanta seems to be our hotbed because that's where we play our national championship. Birmingham, I don't know what it means, but I'm sure Birmingham being the size that it is, the largest city in Alabama, has a market regionally that means something. Memphis, being where the Southern Heritage is played, where that game is there, that has a market. Dallas, where the State Fair, Dallas is one of the largest markets. So just the footprint that we live in within the region all matters when you look at that. And we have to see what our value is from Houston to Dallas to Memphis to Birmingham to Atlanta, coming all the way back around even to New Orleans and Jackson. What is that value to us within that southern region that we are encompassing in?
All right, last comments for everybody. Lionel, last point on this, because so we can get everybody off here. Last comment, Lionel.
No, for sure. Yeah, you know, I just want to say, right, we're all connected with institutions. These institutions are partnered with the SWAC. There's not only one individual or one location we could go to and push to try to get this information that we always keep drumming up to say we're trying to get, right? But guess what? ADs, presidents, these people who also have this same, they have to sign off on whatever this information is going forth. And I want to say they have to be in cahoots and agreement with how not only the office is moving, right? You know what I'm saying? But also these deals is going forth too as well. And so if we really want the information, there's a lot of places we could also push for to get it. But it seems like we're pushing only one. We're pushing this Dr. McClellan, right? You know what I'm saying, to come forth with this information, right? When there's also other places we could go to, because guess what? I'm connected with PV, Perry, you connected with Southern, Zoe connected with Jackson. We could also press our people on this as well if we really want to know our value. Because when you say our, I'm talking about Perry. You're talking about Southern, you're talking about Jackson, right? Where we want to know that, and somebody in the institution got that information, right? It ain't just the SWAC office that got it, right? Because in order for us to sign off on it, there has to be information that's come forth, right? So to me, if we really collectively in the media space want the information, let's press everybody to actually get it. Because there's multiple touch points that we can press to actually get it. That to me is that's my last one.
All right, Zoe, last point on this.
I mean, my thing is, there's a lot of truth to what Lionel said. My thing is, I'm not necessarily coming down on McClellan. He's the messenger, so he's pretty much just responding to the lack thereof within the message. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not as any vitriol toward him. It's just that, again, if you're the one that's chosen to feed me the information, then we just saying, feed more. You know what I'm saying? And again, yeah, we probably can go to other sources, but I'll just say this in my own opinion: if there are in cahoots with holding that information, they're shortchanging all the institution, and they're shortchanging the greater good of what the product really could be within being the best version of itself. Because again, you have potential untapped markets, untapped consumers who could actually grow the brand even further. Because again, I'm gonna use Blue Point. The dichotomy is I've never in my life heard somebody talk about watching anything and highlight it by saying minutes. You're shortchanging it. I'm trying to minimize something small to make it appear to be big. Because you know and I know if it was great, 500 hours sound way better than 500 minutes. So my thing is, let's highlight what we can. Let's grow this thing. And again, we want the best for the SWAC and the MEAC. That's it.
Rocky, last point.
No, first off, I want to say SWAC TV is a tremendous opportunity for the SWAC as a whole. And I think what it did last year in giving the SWAC visibility was tremendous. And it allowed us to have conversations about games that we all got a chance to see and witness. And that made us as media personalities and media people be able to talk with the same information. And I absolutely think it's great. But when you're talking about the revenue and what's being generated and what's the value, we can't really have a educated conversation about that because we don't know. And I think that's one aspect of the SWAC we all should strive to get some information on, because then we can compare the growth of SWAC TV year to year based on revenue. Because I don't care about how many minutes watched you have. What I am interested in is, are the schools getting access to the revenue they need to run a healthy athletic department? That's all I'm concerned with.
Blue, last word on it.
Oh man, really, I don't care about this. We're 9 days away from football, bro. Who cares how much money SWAC TV is making right now? Man, I don't care nothing about that. But it's time to strap up the helmets and go play some football. I mean, we can talk about this in April next year.
There you go. Had to do it though, because and Blue, I'm gonna tell you the reason why I had to talk, because the commissioner doesn't do a lot of interviews. You know what I'm saying? And he did. And shout out to Lionel and those guys. So
can I ask Perry a question? Because I was in Baton Rouge.
Because we close this out.
Let me get my point in.
Yeah, no, I'm about to say what I'm saying. Yeah, Perry's got to go. Yeah, go ahead, Perry.
Well, I would say this. I do believe it's important, even to what you're saying, Blue. Football season is about to go. They about to strap them up. We are in markets all across the South, from Texas all the way to Georgia, down to Florida. Remember, we brought in Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M, who just opened us up to even more markets, right? And the way Florida A&M has with their market, that brings us into Miami and into Tampa, because they have an interest in what's happening in Tallahassee. I don't know the reach of Bethune-Cookman, but I know it's near Jacksonville, Florida. So I can imagine even that market right there within itself, because guess what? Hasn't the SWAC played games in Jacksonville, Florida? Southern and Bethune-Cookman played there. Jackson State and Bethune-Cookman played there. Now, I like to know why I brought this up, and I'm going to end with this. We're in all these markets. Now we got SWAC Media Day with our brand. We take this brand on the road to these large markets. We do a SWAC Media Day in Houston, right? In the 5th largest television market, 6th largest radio market. What do we take SWAC Media Day? We go to Dallas. We got the State Fair Classic that's there that has an HBCU presence. Guess what? The National Battle of the Bands next year is going where? To Dallas. They've moved out of Houston because they see a whole new area for folks that they can make money out of that want an HBCU experience.
Come on, Pierre.
We got Atlanta with I'm just saying, we got New Orleans. We got a lot. Look at the SEC Media Day. What they was at this year? Didn't they go down to Tampa?
Yeah, they were in Tampa.
They've been in Nashville, Atlanta.
Love Birmingham.
They're marketing their region to maximize that area that they're in through the television and the radio ability of those markets that they're in to sell their brand. And all I'm saying, because we sit in these markets, there's a lot more we can sell our brand upon, especially launching SWAC TV. Take SWAC Media Day to Dallas and then market SWAC TV all across Dallas. You know how many people in Dallas, millions of people who may not even know about SWAC TV? Take SWAC TV, take that same brand. Okay, we do SWAC Media Day in Houston, and we market that in that huge market, because guess what? Local media gonna come out. I don't know much about Birmingham local media, but I don't think it probably supersedes Dallas, Atlanta, or Houston. So I'm just saying, I see a value there. I would like to know our value, and maybe I'm putting too much value on what it is that we have in the first place. but I really do believe in that this is bigger than what we think it is, but we just don't know what it looks like. It's like having that girl back in the day, you talking to her on the internet, I ain't never met her. Didn't that Mante Tayo at Notre Dame get catfish?
Catfish.
We being catfish, man. I want to know what she looks like. I want to know how she built. You keep showing me pictures. I don't think she real. She AI.
But, and guess what, Perry? Now you showed her about the girlfriend too, didn't it? Heard about the girlfriend, but you showed didn't see her. Damn.
Hey, Perry spent 5,000 minutes talking to her. I don't know what that breaks down to in terms of revenue or effort, but
Rocky, go ahead and ask your question. That's value to me, because hey, I thought I loved her.
Rocky, go ahead and ask your question.
And it turned out to be what, a 19-year-old man he was in love with? You know what I mean? Something like that. Anyway, my point I want to ask you, Perry, due to unfortunate circumstances, I had to travel to Baton Rouge this past weekend, and I got a chance to sit down deep in the belly of the beast with lots of Southern alumni, got people that say they had missed a Southern game or in 30 years. So these people are connected to Southern. Some of them worked at Southern. I just had these conversations. And you know what surprised me, Perry, is that there's so much optimism about this upcoming season. And I don't understand it among the fan base. And it's not that it's coming out of any logic, right? It's coming from, well, we gonna see what this guy's gonna do. He was a great player in the NFL, and we're gonna see if he can get things turned around. Are you having that same? Are you experiencing that same level of optimism about this season coming up, related to the fan base?
Let me put it to you like this. Me personally, what I'm learning about the fan base, reporting Southern and having conversations, people are fans of Marshall Faulk, rightfully so. And because they're fans of Marshall Faulk, they believe in Marshall Faulk. And when you have this type of, let's say, star power, people believe you can do anything, right? It just comes with the territory. They believe you were successful on the NFL level, you're a Hall of Famer. We just assume you know how to get in game, make adjustments, you can recruit, you can do all of these things because of who you are. And I believe that's the optimism that comes with a lot of people, even though no coaching experience, right? But I believe that's the optimism a lot of people have with Marshall Faulk and Southern University, simply who he is, the people he knows. And guess what? Like he said, I got multiple coaches. I can pick up the phone and call at any given time. That, I believe, for Southern fans is what creates that optimism within them, that they believe he can turn that around just because of the people he can pick up the phone and call, along with his IQ of football. So to me, you got to show me better than you can tell me. I told people about this with Eric Dooley. Oh, he's a Louisiana guy. He's New Orleans. He can recruit. Oh, he's going to do all of this. And I said from the jump, I was not a fan of the hire. He had never beaten us with Odoms. It didn't sell to me. You know how many people crashed on me, told me, oh, man, you bad for the program, you negative.
Yeah, they tried to run you out there, my boy.
A year and a half later, they ran him out of there. The same thing with Terrence Graves. I'm like, what are we doing? We just fired a coach after a year and a half, paid him more than Odoms, gave him years, and then here we go. We're going to hire. And I love these guys. I'm talking business. Then we get Terrence Graves. He ain't never coached, but guess what? We get too caught up into fandom. He was here with Pete Richardson. He was here part of the 90s. He knows this. And he didn't do anything. Now we get another coach in Marshall Faulk who has NFL history as a Hall of Famer. But I think at this point, Southern fans just want something. But I sure do say, damn, I think, and when you say optimistic, Rocky, what does that mean? Like SWAC championship, 7, 8, 9? We're like, what do you think?
So I just asked a simple question to most of these fans was, how you think they're going to do this year? And they say, I think we're going to be good. And I say,
good. Good can be 3 wins because it was better than 2.
Oh, man, come on now.
Good can be winning a home game because we didn't win none of them last year.
I'll say this, and it's coming from a Jacksonian. I think what the real look of it is, to be honest, is that I think in this conference, I can't speak for the whole landscape, but in this conference, I think a lot of Southern fans feel the third time will be the charm. You had Prime with no coaching experience, popular head coach. Eddie Robinson, though he wasn't as heralded as Marshall Faulk, but still a well-known football player, to go to Alabama State and win. I just think they think the third time will be the charm as well, because in this conference, we've had these coaches with no experience, former players, come into this conference and have success. So I think that alone could kind of give it some credence to think that they can have some success.
And Perry, the last thing I'll say is that what I was really surprised to listen to is that the fan base, in the Southern fan base that I was around, so this is not everybody, they really don't think very highly of these SWAC coaches. And it was apparent to me that they had no interest in a recycle. And that's what I really got. Another thing I really got is that they wanted somebody that was not a SWAC guy to lead their program.
And I'm cool with that. I was the same way. I threw names out there. Blue knows this. We had many conversations of guys. I was a fan of Joel Taylor, who was at West Georgia. Then guess what? In that same process, he leaves and go to Mercer. Right? I even brought up white coaches. I was talking about the guy at Tennessee Tech. At one time, I brought up the guy at Western Carolina. There was a lot of names. I was just looking for a football coach. I don't care about celebrity. I don't care about who. We just looking for a football coach, because at the end of the day, if the fans telling me it ain't about the visibility, we just want to win, then that was the case, then I just want a football coach.
Well, there you go. Hey, listen, we're going to talk about a couple of things, do a little housekeeping. Hey, tomorrow, HBC Coach's Corner, Mississippi Valley's head coach, Terrell Buckley, will be in the house, 9 p.m. We're going to talk about that football intelligence. We're going to see if T-Buck talk about they're going to be FAMU next year.
FBI.
This year. So FBI, so we're really excited.
Yeah, he answered that question. He said that's his city.
Oh yeah. So listen. So I'm gonna have to get that clip, because I'm gonna play that tomorrow, because definitely, and I got a surprise for him. So we got that, man. Listen. We'll be on Sippin on Sundays on Monday going forward. We're gonna be doing some interesting. Hopefully, Perry will be the third partner of the crew based off of his schedule, because we love to have Perry keep that outspoken going on. What we're gonna be doing, we're gonna have me and Zoe are gonna have our big game of the week. Zoe's gonna have one game he's gonna watch. I'm gonna have one game, and hopefully Perry have it. Also, we're going to have games that's going to take you to the Celebration Bowl. Big games every week that we feel is going to be making who's going to make it to the Celebration Bowl. And you know what? We're going to have my boy Blue on breaking it down, coming on through, and maybe Rocket too. So listen, man, we're going to do a lot of things. We're going to have some theme music that's going to be coming up. So we're going to have some theme music going on. But man,
first game next Thursday, bro.
There you go. So we really appreciate it, man.
Y'all coming to Birmingham? Anybody? Nobody want to watch?
Nope.
Hey, I'm going to all these things.
Watch Marshall Faulk?
Hey, now we're watching on TV. So hey, that's the beautiful thing. So when we do Sippin on Sundays on a Monday, you can tell us how great Birmingham was.
I thought y'all wanted to see Marshall Faulk, man.
We do. We're gonna watch him on TV.
We are. See it in person.
We're gonna watch on the Magic. We're gonna watch on the Magic City Classic. I mean, first time ever for Southern. It's gonna be historic moment for you guys.
Hey, is that the Magic City Classic or the Birmingham Classic? Which one is?
The Magic City Classic.
He's gonna tell what it is, Rocky.
Blue, what you got going on this week? Tell people where they can find you. What you got? We've got to watch with you.
Man, just getting ready for next week, man. Finishing up team previews, conference previews, all that stuff, man. Next week, got 2 trips planned. I'll be in West Florida on Thursday night for their first ever FCS game. Then I'll be at Tarleton next Saturday to see PB.
You flying into Dallas, Blue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Going to Tarleton.
Yeah, I'll see you there, Blue.
Now, Blue,
if they approve my
it's your first time going,
press
Blue?
pass, because I ain't got it yet.
It's your first time going?
Yeah, first time going to Tarleton.
They got a nice stadium. It's nice. It's in a hole.
Y'all acting like that's a destination where people go to Tarleton State.
No,
nobody been to Tarleton.
Hold on. Watch it. Oh, watch this period. That's not why I'm doing that. That's gonna be a good game.
Exactly. Now, Blue. Now you got to do us a favor, because we got the PB12 in it. They're not going to tell the truth whatever happens at that game. So we need you to be. So listen, when we have Sippin on Sundays that Monday, you're going to be our special correspondent and tell us exactly what happened. Because I'm not trusting nothing that them jokers going to say, no matter what.
I'm looking forward to the point spread. That's why I want to know what I wonder, is it going to be less than 21?
No, probably not. I don't know. Okay, I say that, but FCS point spreads, like if you really want to make money, bet FCS point spreads, man, because some of them are insane.
And do them on Saturday. Make your bet on
They
Saturday
don't post them
morning.
Saturday morning most of the time.
Yeah, Saturday morning, 9 o'clock before they start adjusting. Oh yeah, it's a
Yes,
wrap.
sir.
You could make a killing with that.
You
Not
sure
trying to promote
can.
betting on the channel, but like if you tight, well, some money, like you can make some money off FCS lines.
You can do.
I think it'll be more than 21. This guy said 17. I think it's gonna be more than 21.
It will be somewhere between 14 to like 21, like somewhere in there, I think.
TJ got it covered.
God damn,
Upset
for real,
City.
man.
Perry,
Upset City.
Perry, come on, tell us where you at, and hopefully you'll be on here every Monday with us. Perry,
That's Steve Harvey. That's Steve Harvey up there, man.
Hey man, look, y'all can catch me on the Jaguar Journal every Saturday on 107.3 FM across Baton Rouge, capital city area, or you can just keep up with the Jaguar Journal across all social media. Look, we on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Twitch TV, god dang on.
Hey man, get Gary Chambers on there, man.
Facebook, what else? Instagram, whatever the case may be. Keep on going. You can keep up with the Jaguar Journal, man, as well as On the Yard Network. You can subscribe to that and keep up across all social media. I use both of them to grow a brand of what I'm trying to do down here in Baton Rouge.
Well, Perry, listen, I'm gonna say this again. Listen, you know, this Monday's your home. You know, when you can join, just pop on in, and we're gonna keep it rolling because, like I say, we gotta keep this outspoken afterglow thing going. That's why we moved to the Monday so everybody can do it, and we're gonna have recap. And Perry, plus you do the best reads in the business when it comes to the stats and stuff like that. That's why we gotta have you just for that, my boy.
I need y'all to be y'all gotta get a little up to the other side with me now sometime. Now y'all gotta
No. Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I gotta say no. Perry, listen, let me tell you something. It's not that, but I gotta be honest. Scotty got a job, and when I say this thing is being watched like the CIA, literally, that's the only thing, my boy. So that's the reason why my boy got a job now. He got 5 kids. So because what they'll do is listen to what they said on Sky Chat. He ain't got nothing to do with what's going on. So that's the only reason why I'm saying. But we're gonna let you be you. Don't get us wrong. We're gonna let you be you. You know what I'm saying? But
hey, we need to buy Scotty out, man.
Hey, listen, when I get this sponsorship for that wing play, we're getting that money. I'll tell you that right now. That's it. But hey, man, listen. Sipping on Sundays on a Monday, every Monday going forward. Me and Zoe, Blue's gonna be on, Perry's gonna be on, and man, and one other thing too, the breakdown will be coming back. Rock, I'm just letting you know now. You will be the host with Mike Reed. I haven't told you that yet, but it's gonna be you and Mike Reed Wednesday nights, and I'm gonna still be doing the chicken wing count.
Don't just be throwing me. I need to know my media rights for y'all. Just throw me on, son. I need to know my media rights.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna give you the Charles McClure. I'm gonna give you 500 minutes per show. There you go. And we'll see what that equates to. So don't
you know he's not gonna like
break that down.
This the problem why they be watching the show and say troublemakers, man.
Now you know he's not gonna like that.
Hey, listen, one last thing. Hey, Dr. McClellan, listen, bro.
It's jokes.
Come on the show with your boys, man. Come on with you went over there with your prayers before, and now it's time to come on here on Bailey Avenue, Northside Drive with your folks, man. But listen, I want to tell everybody for watching this show, man. It was a great show. We knew it was going to be a great show. Appreciate everybody watching. Please hit the like button. Please come back tomorrow because we're going to have a great show with HBC Coach Corner, me and Rocky, and Coach Cole and T-Buck. And then, man, listen, football
man, 2 weeks. 2 weeks
is right around the corner. And guess what? Blue will not have to talk about all this stuff that he really doesn't like. But he hung in there. He didn't drop. See, let me tell you something. That's why I love Blue. That's why he's my nephew. Because he really could have dropped. He really could have dropped. But you know what? Blue knows when he comes over, we're going to let him talk too. And everything. So that's another
thing. Lionel hit a spin move out of here on our ass.
Oh, well, say what's up. Deal.
Lionel was protecting the brand.
Commissioner, y'all ain't finna get me.
Hey, listen. And that's why I had Lionel on there. I didn't want to misquote, but shout out to Lionel, man. Great job with
that was a great interview.
Really great interview. Proud of everybody, man. And I'm gonna say this one last thing, man. No matter what we say on Twitter, whatever, man, listen, it's all good. It's all fun, man. Because like I said, I don't care about nothing what nobody say because in here, I'm just happy to be on the folks with my folks. That's why they come on with me and stuff. Rocky, I love them and stuff like that. We mess around and everything. And Blue and Perry, you know what and Zone, married man. We got this thing rolling, my boy. So all I'm going to say is I'm going to leave y'all with this. What you sipping on? That's what we'll see. We'll see you next Monday.
Perry, I gotta tell you, dog.
Hey man, the stream ain't ended and Mr. Capital jumped off.
He done jumped off.